Words, welcome to the social center of everything culture, Culture Daily. Welcome to the show. Good morning and happy new month, first day of November. Inching us closer to the end of the year. November's a special month. I'll tell you why later on in the show, but trust me, for me, it's a very special month. And on that note, you're welcome to Culture Daily. We've got Serial, we've got Miss G, and the trio is set, guys, lady.
Culture Squad,
yeah.
I tell you, it's a new month, but not a very great way to start the month for me. I've been distraught since I woke up, especially to news of allegedly. I don't know if it's still confirmed. I'm just hoping somebody says is unconfirmed, you know, and is not true and all of that. I just woke up, my timeline was filled with Davido loses son. Davido loses son 3 days after third birthday. And I'm just like, goodness, can this not be the news to start the month of November? Like, I don't want to start the month this way. And it just took me back to the Banj. When 2018, the Banj was all in our faces with King David III. And just when the little one celebrated the first birthday, days after, he also drowned. You know, like the drowning thing is just the reoccurring factor for me. And I'm like, what is the problem? It's not a good way to start the month for me, especially when, you know, Davido and Chioma just got back and people are anticipating that, you know, there's a wedding in 2023. When you see that video of them visiting that Nigerian pastor who is based in the UK, who said, this is our wife and all of that. Like, a lot of things come to mind. I'm like, ooh, Jesus. And, you know, just be reminded that right here in Ghana, a drowning case of our footballer, Sami Kufuor, also occurred. And I'm like, you know, may money not be the reason why we are dying. You know, you want to satisfy yourself, you know, with some luxury, and this luxury is the same thing that is taking away some joy from you. I just, it's not a good way to start the month for me, you know. Yeah, but we pray that God preserves us, you know, and everything that brings us joy, you know.
It's a very tough one.
Very.
I mean, yesterday was speculative, right? But I mean, the way, you know how the media moves, they'll try and suppress issues and everything. There were people saying it's a lie, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you would know by now, both of the parents are very quiet, and they are not usually that quiet on social media. And people have tried to reach them for interviews, the likes, and nothing is coming through. So as much as it's still speculative, I mean, it's still very disheartening to even be...
3 years, he just had his birthday last week.
He just turned 3. He's 3 days old after 3.
And I saw a video, I don't know how true that video is, that his father actually was teaching him to swim.
That's what even kills me, because listen, if this thing is true, the guilt that is going to be on David's head for introducing the kid to the pool and making him think it's fun and
telling him that I heard him saying that this one go learn quick.
Yeah, it's like he's a natural. Oh, let's play together. Daddy was in the pool, I was with him. Putting myself in that shoe like that.
Those are the visuals on the screen.
Yeah. He thought he was playing with the kid and trying to teach him how to swim.
Look, it takes me back to before Ifeanyi was born. I remember that interview very well. I think it was with Tools in Nigeria, where Davido said, before Ifeanyi, Davido had 2 girls, with Sophia and the other lady. So there was Imade, and then I think she's called Hali or something, the other girl. And before Ifeanyi came, I think at that time he knew that Chioma was giving him a boy. And he was so excited in this interview that, that kind of African mentality. He says, this is the child. And Nigerians dragged him, meaning that the 2 girls, because they were not boys. And I remember that interview very well. And so, from that instant, I knew that this guy had some connect with his son, because his first son, I know that there's also some speculation that some makeup artist in London has another boy for him. But Ifeanyi is the one we know. And to think that, your son just leaves you like that, he's dead like that, hours after you've seen in the pool with him. This is, for you who are fathers, I'm sure, the way Jefoli is feeling, I can only imagine him putting himself in the shoes of Davido.
It's not something you can imagine. I can't know.
Oh, you see, the emotions that comes with it, Even me, sitting all the way in Ghana, the way I felt this morning when I took my phone and I read the stories, I'm like,
at this point in time, he's not even the Davido we know as a superstar.
No.
This daddy's in daddy mode. He's going to be just another human being for a very long time.
And I'm just praying that it doesn't have an effect on all the shows. Definitely will. What kind of inhumane dad would just jump on the stage, after you lose your child?
I don't think it makes him inhumane. I just think that maybe...
Work continues.
Yeah, work continues.
Really? Just like that?
No.
That's another angle.
The empathy,
raise,
sorry, I'm lost for words because I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
The empathy and the sympathy that he's going to get around this is going to help the brand, right? Callously of me to say that. So I don't think this will be the time for him to withdraw entirely. We will understand perfectly
if he does.
If he has to withdraw, right? Because Charlie, I don't even want to, but it's been bad. And it's like if you look at his journey, he's lost a lot of key people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now his son of all people.
And I don't want to even hear that story of people saying, hey, there's something wrong, or we should go check it. And, whilst I was making up, one of the things that my makeup artist drew my attention to is that if he gets another banger, they'll say he used a smartphone. Like, how would we dare? How would we dare think a thing like that?
They are probably even saying it now. Don't wait for the banger. They are probably
it stems from the back of the conversation that, every in the past couple of years, Davido has lost someone close to him, either a team member or something, and now...
Even he himself, there was a prophecy that somebody was going to poison Davido himself. I think it was early this year or late last year, I heard a prophecy like that.
They say you don't feel the pain of death until it's really close to you, and this is a backbreaker, and especially because just watching the visuals that earlier on came on the screens, I wonder how he's going to go back.
This was Saturday, right? Yes. Saturday morning, and they were chilling in the pool.
Yes. Well, I don't even know which day it was. I thought they even said it was just yesterday. There are too many contradictory stories. One of the stories I read said earlier in the day, this was what happened. He and his son, in the pool. And there's another one that says that if Chioma and Davido were away in Ibadan when this happened. So I don't even know which is true.
If the child was really, if the nanny story is really correct, then it opens up the conversation to a whole lot of other things, right? Because I'm here now. Somebody is helping.
Taking care of your child.
What I'm saying? And then your head starts running around school care, home care, nannies, proper security, CCTV, locked doors.
Just a slip.
Slip.
True.
And you're...
Look, you go to some people's houses and it's like a prison because of the kids. The doors are locked, this is that, and it's like, stay in this room because
You're not sure what is going to happen next when you're out of
And you
the
know,
womb.
it's like, I don't know why, when we were young, we were so...
We had a lot of liberty, eh?
Yeah,
I
like,
think it's also because of the kind of system we had when we were younger. Everybody was everybody's family,
You see, I'm
and
cheating
everybody
my
was
brother.
everybody's
I'm come to say
neighbor.
something.
Okay.
You didn't have liberty, you.
Ah.
You had the secret eyes of
your neighbors.
who are
Okay.
watching you. So you dare
Yeah,
not.
but we did some reckless things. I've lost
that's what I'm saying,
count.
that your recklessness was actually guided.
No, and I also think that when we're younger, depending on kind of family we had, everybody was everybody's
Watcher. Yeah.
you do things.
Security was around everywhere.
Exactly. By the time your parents they had already reported you this, that.
Sometimes your auntie go deal with you
before your parents can. These days, how
The
dare
eyes of
you?
God. The secret eyes of God were watching you.
These days, how dare you? Even in schools now, you can't even flog a child.
Can't even scold a child.
You went out to be bad, but your bad was guided by certain rules and regulations of the secret eyes of your parents. We're watching.
Oh,
But
man,
anyways,
we wish.
To the souls of the dearly departed as well, may they rest in perfect peace. And we'll still bring you continuing stories on this as the show goes on, and throughout the whole week, we'll definitely give you updates on this. But to the family of Davido and Chioma, we share our condolences right here from Ghana, right here from 3 Music as well. Anyway, song of the day starts our morning.
No, yeah.
I think mostly.
It's not even. I mean, the issue
It's-
of compatibility is about marriage. Yes, fine. But I'm just saying that the reason why status comes in is that how much are you willing to sacrifice for the other? Like take Kim and Kanye for example. The last message that I saw from Kim said that, "Hey Kim, hey Kanye, I love you, but can we take this off and blah blah blah." You know that whole thing. So it's like.
They're too big for. I think a marriage or a relationship needs two things: humility and submission
and
from
submission.
both partners. And if both of you are global
if you are
stars,
worth $1 billion and I'm worth $1 billion,
who go here?
And they say, and we are arguing out. Our bank accounts will argue out first.
No,
before we
well, to some extent, but again, if you're worth $1 billion and I'm worth nothing, does it mean that you'd always want me to hear you?
Let me say this: a woman who is independent, financially especially, is a very powerful woman.
Even if
Dangerous. You said dangerous wrong.
No, bro, I didn't want to do this on air.
Oh,
Trust
please.
me.
Where's the camera?
You get me.
Wait.
Camera. The word you wanted to mention was dangerous.
so wait.
A rich woman is a very.
So do you want to
Powerful
say that?
woman.
So that's I'm asking again
Yes.
that if you were the wealthier one in the relationship and I had nothing, does that become the fact? Does that make me your slave then?
No, let me put this debate out there. A rich man, a wealthy man, is more understanding than the wealthy woman.
Hey, I don't agree. What are you saying?
I know this is part of the global debate, right?
Now you've given me a reason to ask this question. When we went off air, I was asking them, how come they don't have baby mama issues or they don't have baby mamas? Look, a man who is wealthy, mostly,
It's more submissive than the wealthy
mostly has his money running everything, including his zips. I'm sorry. So I don't know what you're talking about.
No, a wealthy man is more
we are
submissive
responsible
than a
men.
wealthy woman.
Oh, I said those who are baby mamas, they're not
You know
responsible.
what? The
but
reason
some
why
of
I'm
the
saying
things-
that. The reason why I'm saying that. Let me speak for the woman in your favor. A wealthy woman, knowing that she's worked hard for her money, okay, it's not going to stand for. Pardon me for a morning television conversation, but bullshit.
No, I don't have money.
Okay.
I don't have money,
She won't
but
take-
I don't stand for
No,
anything that is BS.
I'm not talking about.
I don't have
I'm
to
not
have
talking about a woman
money.
who has
But
no
you see
money.
the way you
I'm
are
talking
taking
about
it
a
personal
woman with
already.
money.
I
You
don't
see the way you
have-
are
I don't
taking
have
it,
money.
sister.
No,
You
I'm
see
not
the way you are
talking
taking
about
it
a
personal
woman who
already.
hasn't got
You don't have
money.
money
I'm
in
talking
Punio.
about
And
a
I'm
woman who
telling
has
you that
No,
I don't
that's-
have money,
Yes.
but I will
Miss G,
still not stand for
Miss
it.
G,
That's
the woman
fully,
who hasn't got
fully,
money.
fully.
Yeah.
She don't get money, save this. She's not even married to you, save this.
I
beat
don't
you.
go stand BS.
Then imagine like she get the money like this vase you chew am.
You know, that's why I
Sister.
always encourage women that
Sister,
you know,
be with me.
try
Focus.
as much as
Yeah,
possible.
focus.
G.
Let me before I
G,
be with you.
look,
So you
look
see
at
the
me.
point we're trying to
Look at
make,
me,
right?
look at me.
Before-
Take
before
it
you
easy.
let
I'll
me
sing
breathe.
for you. Don't make me sing for you.
Wait, now.
Relax.
Wait,
you
before-
don't go land.
I did,
Now
I
your
did,
aeroplane
I
go
did.
remain
This
there.
one is paining me.
It will
It's paining me.
It's paining
It's paining me. I
Take
want
it,
to say
take
it.
it, take it,
Please
take
let me
it.
say it.
You lived in Teshi.
Uh-huh.
She lived in Nigeria.
Actually was born in Nigeria.
If you had
Born in
money, if you had
Nigeria.
$1 million again, there, yeah.
Live close to the beach. Don't joke with her.
Wait,
Don't joke
me,
with her.
there's a reason I always tell women,
Yes.
be independent. At least get, you know,
Kakra.
they say that you have bluffing money, you know, because the men that have money, if you are married to them or you are dating them and you don't have money, and you don't call their bluff, you are their slaves because they know you don't have money first. And you don't have any shakara to do. Even when, me, I have shakara to do. I don't have money yet. But
No,
I
that-
still will not stand for BS.
No, so I'm
Like,
talking about
I'm
a
like
woman.
that.
Yeah, so no, I'm not talking about a woman
So if
without
I get
money.
more money, the end, yeah.
I'm not talking about a woman without money. I'm
But it
talking
doesn't
about a
take away
woman
the fact
with
that you
money.
should be humble. But,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm saying that a woman who's independent, who has worked for her status,
It's
will not
because you
stand,
know
will
your
not
worth.
stand, will not stand for it.
Yes, and in
Yeah.
projecting that worth, you are less tolerant of
So
a
I
man
hope
who
you, I
has
hope you
less.
like the way I put the whole conversation.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want problem.
Oh no, don't. I would like to inform you that there's already a problem.
But just recently, you see, Auntie made a comment that
I saw it. I didn't. You know, I was going to
What was the
comment on
comment?
that thing on social
What did
media,
she say?
and I said,
every
"Oh,
man is afraid of
I've an independent woman." I was like,
independent women,
maybe they're
or
afraid of
powerful
her.
women or whatever.
Well, please, my wife is a very independent woman. I'm not afraid of her.
No,
He is.
well, you're not afraid
Oh.
of her because maybe she's made you really comfortable to
you see
realize
who's
that.
in power
You know, she's made you
Do you
so
know?
comfortable.
Do you know why? Do you know why I'm not afraid of her?
No.
Because I'm also a very powerful man.
No.
And I'm not intimidated by
His
that.
wife has
Then he
made him
contradicts
feel-
what he's saying.
This
his
guy's
wife-
on drugs. I
his
keep
wife
telling
has-
you.
His wife has made him feel he's powerful.
She's
I've been
giving him
allowed.
power.
I've been allowed.
You fool and see.
I've been allowed.
Check yourself
They'll
small and
reset
see.
me as you
We'll
move
put
back.
you where you belong.
I'll hear the chain.
Well,
If I move
yes.
too far, I'll hear the cling on my neck.
Well, anyway, every man and woman needs some motivation. We'll come into our starter pack later on, but let's check out how well the song "Easy on Me" did right now. We come into our
Oh, there's
starter
still
pack.
more drama, you know, and just as you're talking about, you know, broken relationship, this is Ashanti talking about her broken relationship with Meda INC, you know, and all that happened while she was under the label, because there's actually a documentary that actually projects her in a way she feels is narcissist, so she's responding to that. So we'll look at that. And then again, have you wondered why Maven has just one queen? Almost all the time, there's one queen at a time. Initially was Tiwa, then Dija came, you know, reigned for a while. Now we have only Arasta.
Gender imbalance in the Mavens.
Why is it that we are not singing?
You are not singing.
I want to sing.
Well, anyway, like
I
I
need somebody to
said-
sign me actually.
Hey,
Someone
Shatta.
like
Shatta.
Bulldog.
I'll
Bulldog said he doesn't
Shatta-
sign female.
I'll let Shatta sign you.
Oh, which one will I sing? He sang all
Well,
the
He
songs.
sang all the songs.
Yeah, which one will I sing?
Well, there has been a reaction from Charles Nima with regards to an interview that happened here, and
Did he tell you?
I mean, clearly some of the things, some of the names that were mentioned.
Can I have a sheet? I want to draw.
I was watching
The fish.
He
I
did
want to draw a
mention
fish.
the first time that he actually, got reached out by his former CEO of 3 Music, Sadiq, and our head of production here, Steve, aka Ezekiel Tete, as well. And he had put a video out there. Later on, I was watching the video, and for me, I started.
You want us to see it?
No, I
so you agree that Bulldog of all people was
Yes.
drawing fish?
Yeah, but it's possible. He draws, he paints. I mean, Bulldog designs. So
In
if-
a meeting that was supposed to agree on an endorsement deal.
Well,
a
shout-
whole Lawrence Liama Hansen.
Shout
Shaden
to
was
Bulldog.
drawing. He said he should have drawn. No, I saw a post from Arnold. Arnold said he should have drawn a mansion
Oh,
or
Charles.
he should have drawn a jet. But fish, yeah. That he should add a fish to his 40 cities. And you know.
Listen, I think
Oh,
my brother
man.
Charles, right? The day he will pull up a
stand-up comedy, I swear.
Charlie, he'll
telling
make
you,
so much money.
He'll make it. Like I can
I think he's a
imagine.
He should
natural.
open his next show with a half-hour comedy set before we even start the music.
No, for real. Like I
He's a
think that
natural.
not necessarily a comedy show, but I think a stand-up rant, set up, and then people to come and hear him speak, deliver
No,
a
but that's
message.
business idea you're giving
I'm telling you,
him.
deliver a
Yeah.
message about the state of the
I would
industry
personally sit down
of
and
music.
listen to him because I think
I'm
that
telling
he has
you.
a lot of humor inside and it comes naturally because I don't think that Shatta went thinking, what will I say about Bulldog?
No.
He just started ranting and said, the thing just dropped in here, say, he did draw fish. My father said he looked at the thing, he said his father peeped on Bulldog's paper and he was drawing fish.
No, I mean, I don't think. I'm not there, so I can't say this. But I'm just imagining. Sometimes when you are talking, when you're talking to someone, you have a paper in front of you. You just sometimes scribble objects and stuff like that. It's not
They've
necessarily.
not got to
that
the
you
money
are-
part
you
of the
are
conversation, so he was
doing-
waiting, he was scribbling.
Our producer says Shatta's father said he
Yes.
was drawing a human being. So how does it?
Maybe he was drawing Jonah coming out of the fish. So it was both.
Well, we will try and have conversations on
wait,
this
so
later on. Yes.
We haven't seen all the video. I hear Shatta called his father during the live session. So the father confirmed that
That
it was
it
a
was-
human being, not
Yeah,
fish.
not fish.
But how did Shatta think it was fish?
Anyway, well, we'll definitely have a good conversation on this. But anyways, let's jump into our starter pack and get some motivation through all this. Yeah,
it shall be cracked.
We shall be cracked.
The hardness.
Praise the day I want to allow myself to be cracked.
To be cracked.
We'll see the weak point. We'll hit from the weak point.
If you know, I mean, I always say go back to their ex-boyfriends.
Don't
When you
give you
want
all
to
the
find out more
keys,
about
Which of
just
them?
go back to the ex. There
Which of
maybe
them?
don't go back to the most recent. Usually they're not the ones that you
Which
go
of
to
them,
the
say?
last two.
The one that
Create a
didn't-
WhatsApp group for us.
The last two.
Put all of them inside the others so that
Some of them don't want to be part of it. They are so shy. They didn't think that it would end this way.
Well, yeah, so more like be jealous. Here she is, she's looking all fine and fresh. Yeah, so ex, you can eat your heart out. She's fine.
Why?
Yeah.
and the money to come.
Okay.
Chepe.
Yeah,
You don't come
you know.
yet.
It come.
She cash out.
If now
Lie,
he
it come.
If Shata send you home, then I cash out finish.
All right, don't forget we're still live on Plus 89.9 FM as well as 3 Music TV. We'd love to hear your conversation with us this morning. We are talking about the art of digital music consumption. You don't know that sometimes, not me sometimes, I beg your pardon, but some platforms have released certain music platforms, and some have been fruitful and successful. Others have, taken a downside. But we want to understand the behavior of the consumer in all this, and especially for us in Ghana, the platforms that we most consume music from, as opposed to the ones created here for us that we probably don't patronize. What has constituted all this? We want to understand all this later on our Studio 899 when our guests join us for the art and science in digital music consumption right here in Ghana. Okay, so with that out of the way, unpacking, or more like uncracking, is coming up next with Miss G. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Miss G, and welcome to Unpacking. Perhaps the reason people like Lawrence Isiama Hansen, popularly known as Bulldog Bulldog, says he wouldn't manage a female artist is this conversation that we're about to have with Ashanti. Not us to have, but we're about to hear her have a conversation talking about her former management, her manager, and what the relationship with regards to romance was in the past, and how he felt when she stepped out the way to date someone like Nelly.
To expose certain things, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy, I'm in a different space, you know, and I feel like you know, I operate at a very different vibration than him. I don't play in the mud, you know what I'm saying? So I let that sit down there, and I'm over here, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to bring someone down to make myself feel like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that. And I feel like, again, that control, when you lose the reins and, well, let me, you know what I'm saying? Then it gets into that, and let me start making up lies. You know, I hate when he tells the story about, oh, Ashanti's not loyal and she didn't support during the trial. When clearly you see me at the trial. Clearly you see me on every single newspaper. Clearly, you know. And it's just, it's weird. It's very weird that when you know you're lying and you just keep lying, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it becomes a little scary and a little mental, because it's like, he never tells the full story. He never says why. You know what I mean?
So why?
And it's like, okay, yeah, me and Nelly were dating. Irv was salty. Irv would not let me come to the studio to record. Irv was telling everyone not to record with me. Why do I want to stay in that situation? How can I stay in that situation? You know what he said to me?
What?
He said, nah, you want to be with Nelly? Go sign a dirty A&T. We don't want you.
I don't know, what do you credit him for in terms of your career?
That's again what separates us as human beings. I have always given Irv credit where credit is due, you know, as far as creating beats and coming up with concepts, you know what I'm saying? Like Chink, Seven, those are the main producers that produced the majority of my records. And they would come in with a beat, Irv would sprinkle on there, you know, or give direction or whatever. You know, we talk about concepts. He would say, oh, write about this or write about, and I've always said that. Okay, we'll talk about a concept, I'll write the record. I'll go and I'll vocal produce myself. You know what I'm saying? So, it was very weird to me that he felt like he had to stand on top of the table and beat his chest. Look what I did, guys. Because it was like, bro, nobody ever discredited you. Sometimes I regret believing in that person. You know what I'm saying? And believing that they really meant what they said. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. I definitely feel like manipulation played a heavy part into me and Irv's situation. You know, he would say stuff like, no one wants to record with you. Nobody fucks with you like that. You know what I mean? You know, he would say stuff like, you know, we're going to keep it in the family, it's in-house. And on one hand, he would make it feel like family, family, family. And on the other hand, he would tell me nobody even likes you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get beats from nobody. Nobody's going to give you shit. You know what I mean? And it was hard because that gullible little Susie, why? How come? But I don't even know them. Why they don't like me? You know what I'm saying? And growing and becoming a woman and more mature, then you start to reflect on certain things, and it's like, oh, that's what was going on. And then when I did start to evolve and get in the studio with certain producers, I would hear all the time, yo, we always reached out. We always wanted to fuck with you. You know, we thought you didn't want to fuck with us. And it was like, wow.
Well, too many things running through my head right now, but when I go to the guys, I'll share. But ever wondered what Ashanti is up to now? She's doing some acting.
I said, you know what? I'm going to stop the music for a minute and I'm going to go to Broadway. And I did The Wiz. And I was Dorothy in The Wiz. And that was a completely different layer and avenue and opportunity and just opening to my career, you know? And it was something that it forced me to take my mind off of what was going on. You know, you got 8 shows a week, 2 matinees on Wednesday, 2 on Saturday. You know, all those lines, and it's not an Ashanti concert, it's an ensemble. So it's not like it's my fans coming, I have to be on point, you know? Right. So that was I don't want to call it a distraction, but it took a lot out of me. And I focused solely on that. And that's why I kind of like dipped off from the music for a while, because it was so negative and it was just so vile, you know? And it wasn't good for my spirit.
What are you most proud of about your career and your life in general?
I'm really, really proud of the person that I am and how I handle things. You know, I think I've weathered a very tumultuous storm. I feel like we all have obstacles, and I feel like certain people would not be able to move how I move had they been dealt the hand that I've been dealt. And I really genuinely love that about myself. Not to sound, you know.
No, it's okay.
But I do.
You could be proud of yourself. You could be proud of that.
Like it sometimes it gets a lot, and I do make it look easy, you know. And I think that's part of just being professional. That's part of being like a hustler. That's part of being a go-getter. You know, that's how you stay successful. You have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
have to weather the storms.
Absolutely.
And you have other stuff coming, right?
Yes, I'm very excited for my official new single called Falling For You, which will be available after y'all watch this. I'm very excited about the record. I wrote it with Blue. And it's an Ashanti record with 2022 spice on it. You know what I mean? Sonically. But writing with merit. You know what I mean? And it's funny because all the teasers that I put on my Instagram, everybody's like, yo, what's the name of this? I can relate. This is what we want from you. You know, so I'm excited about that.
And what is it about? Tell me, is there, you want to hold it? We'll hold it.
We don't have to hold it, you know?
Yeah.
Falling for you is basically just saying, I'm not falling for this BS anymore. And it's crazy because it relates to like almost all of these situations. You know, no more falling for you. You know, I bet you think that I would never find another, you know, like it's real and came from a real place. So
is this the beginning of like new music coming?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
I have so many records, Angie. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you my phone.
What is his proof? I don't even. I believe you.
No, I want you. I want you to see this.
Let me see. How many? I'm gonna count them.
Okay. Ready?
So wow.
No, wait.
Did I see Burna Boy's name in there? Oh, sorry.
Do you see? These are
but
all
you're scrolling
records.
so fast.
But the point is, they're all records.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with all these records? What is the future?
I have to put them out. We have to put the records out.
Well, what is
That's
the plan?
goal.
Is there a plan?
Yes. The plan is we're going to drop the single. We're going to put out an EP or an album. Me and Blue are working on some stuff. It's just so much music, and it's time. You know, it's time. So
what is this chapter called? What is this? Like, what do you see for yourself in this phase? Like, what do you think people are going to...
Ashanti 20, because I'm celebrating 20 years.
Yeah.
This phase is being strong.
You've achieved so much in your career, more than people achieve in 10 lifetimes. What are you still looking forward to accomplishing or hoping to achieve?
God, every day or every new year, it's brand new. Every new year is brand new.
Okay.
So I understand now it's 1 year deep.
Yeah.
Rema is 3 years in.
Yeah.
I still need to get Ira to 3 years in.
Yeah.
I still need to get Boy Spice and the remaining people to that 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, till they get to the level of our God, them 10, 12 years, them Machala, Bona and David and co.
Yeah.
Yes, minus that one, I still have the ones that are in my academy that I'm still going to be activating from now to 2026.
Okay. You've nurtured not just male but female talent, which is not something that is as common in the Nigerian industry as it should be. Yeah, so was that something that was intentional or more happenstance?
Well, no, I look at the fact that it is difficult. I know that the space is difficult for female artists, and I felt like I could try.
Yeah.
So I kept trying my hand on it. With TY, it was very successful.
Yeah.
It was pretty successful too with DJ as well, and I will keep trying. My next year is actually pretty female packed.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So this year my activations are all male, but next year is like some nice young women, bunch of.
We'll be more proud to see a Ghanaian make it to the Mavens group and, be that Ghanaian we keep referring to. Oh, that's a Ghanaian in the Maven group. I don't know why it's not happening, though, since Don Jazzy is recruiting through social media. Let's go to the guys now. Let's talk about, it looks like a female day. Ashanti is talking about herself. She's female. Don Jazzy talks about females, and we're running the world. Hey, I'm feeling like...
Females with the cash and the talent.
I was just looking elsewhere, just trying to understand.
Where were you looking? Which elsewhere?
The females we have females who are all female. They call them feminists, right? What about the males?
It's just guys.
I don't get you. What did you say? We have females who are all females.
No, I mean, females.
He wants to know the opposite of feminist.
Feminist.
You're a chauvinist.
The opposite of feminist is victim.
You're a chauvinist.
No, we're not chauvinists.
You dislike women, so
someone
you're
shared a message in one of the
We dislike
WhatsApp
women.
groups.
Miss G, that's the biggest lie you've said on TV. We dislike women.
No, I'm saying that no. If feminism is, I don't know. I keep struggling to understand what feminism is because there are too many, school of thought when it comes to feminism that even me myself, I get confused. I won't tell a lie. If you ask me who a feminist is, I don't know. I just believe women believing in themselves. But there are other schools who say women... So if those ones who project the pepper them and then mafia them and shook them the meaning of feminism, then chauvinism is the opposite.
To me, I see them as women who stand very strong for
please,
women.
What is pepper them?
Please.
So
isn't it an irony that of all the slogans,
of all the slogans,
yeah,
I don't know for me. I'm not
we have
there.
extremists. Okay, we have extremists. So that's how I see feminists. They are.
What is this feminism thing about?
But I'm coming to my point that I was making. That the reason why I asked, what's the opposite of feminist is what?
It's menaced.
So
meninist.
You make the thing somebody won't talk to. The reason.
Please talk.
The reason I won't talk to, I forget. Somebody said a message in one of our group. Rodney, shouts to Rodney. He said, there's a job opening at a construction company
to offload some cement.
And they want women to come and...
Why? Who told him that women can't do it?
Nobody's going to take that
Nobody's
job.
Going to take that
there's
job.
no AC involved.
Go to the very remote areas. You see women doing
We know they built for
even the Galamsey illegal mining crash.
Who leads pepper them?
We have to ask Ricky. Ricky knows
which
them.
squad leads pepper them?
Ricky has family members in there, so he knows them.
I have a question for them. That's why.
I think they fire Maven Small. Where did he say no? They forfeit. Expired.
I think it's business for Don Jazzy. Don Jazzy is a strategist. Women have.
But now some woman fire.
That one said be strategy.
Maybe
once he didn't come and cry on
woman
the
shake
strategy.
some nights say don't Oga. That was all. He comes out and says, as part of Maven's 2023 strategy, we want to empower more women. Meanwhile, the 1940s.
No, but we need to, coming from Ashanti's conversation, we need to big up men who deliberately want to add women to their portfolios as managers. Because
I like that bit.
Because there seem to be a lot of
who want to add women to their portfolio.
Go on, Miss G, we are in support.
Because there seem to be, especially in this business, some I don't know if it's warped thought that once you add a woman, there's that she's a woman factor, and you might not make your money because somebody else she'll fall in love with somebody. You might have to date her. You hear a lot of narrations and reasons people give as to why they can't manage females, because the boyfriend will say don't go out at 2 a.m. and 2 a.m. when the show is happening, and you've invested. There's a guy who is chasing you all around, claiming that you're sleeping with his girlfriend. So a lot of managers and investors shy away from putting their money when it comes to female talents.
You are too beautiful.
So I'm just happy.
Problem.
I'm just happy.
They are too fine.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. Why we don't have fine guys who are musicians, who are superstars. We have most of our top stars. Shawty is a fine guy. Stonebwoy is a fine guy. Sarkodie is a fine dude.
I mean,
King Promise.
We are not fine dudes.
We didn't talk
do
the
you
list of names she mentioned.
Charlie, mentioned like 16 names and we are sitting here. I was waiting to mention. You made my nod all remain in my neck.
is a fine boy.
Yeah.
Is a fine boy. Jeffoli, yesterday somebody said you be guy. Make an add that one. Say Jeffoli be guy.
Yes. As part
That's
of
the opposite of feminist.
Part of the
That's the opposite of feminist. Guy.
Well, anyway, all right, Miss G.
So it brings us to the end of unpacking. Over to you, Jay.
Well, thank you. So still to come, sports, more stories in the serial. What are we looking at real quickly?
Well, a surprise act of compassion from someone you didn't expect. And then my man Cristiano Ronaldo is still not. In fact, Charlie, the career, he might end it on a negative note because it's one cold blanket after another. But I'll get into it. There's also some investment lessons in there.
What is update with Neymar? Is he going to go and spend time during the World Cup away? Because we need to know that information. It's very important to the Ghana.
Well, those of us from Brazil, we are looking at how he can be fit to be able to deliver. We might not disclose whether he'll be absent in Qatar or not.
Did you see how he just worried us during the game?
Yeah, for fun, and he was rehearsing.
Yeah, like a worm, tickling us somewhere. Somebody for deal with that guy.
Me, I'm Brazilian, so
somebody for deal with them. Really interestingly, we'll find a way to make that happen. But Sports Direct coming up next here on Culture Daily.
What's good, people? You're still watching Culture Daily. It's your boy C-Real, and I'm bringing you that sport direct. Now, getting into my stories, we start off with cash out. Well, the men like Brom Scooter, LeBron James, Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, and a whole host of celebrities and sporting figures have been added to the ownership group of Mitchell & Ness. Now, Mitchell & Ness is part of the Fanatics group that owns apparel, sportswear, you name it. And what they're really trying to do is bring on an inclusive ownership where it's not just an external body of businessmen who own this brand. Because this brand, Mitchell & Ness, and the Fanatics brand at large, is a cultural icon. It's something that moves the culture, whether it's sports, whether it's hip-hop, or whatever. So they added LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and a few others as key partners to the sportswear company. And they are collectively taking up about 35% of the company, which means that they have a collective influence on how they're going to shape the narrative of the company and how they're going to drive it to the audience. Now, note that majority of the sporting and the entertainment world audience are either black, Hispanic, or from some other ethnicity other than the Caucasian race. But the Fanatics brand is owned by a white man. So this inclusion of mixed race ownership, celebrities, and all that is kind of trying to diversify the whole thing and bring it together in such a way that it's not just a product being sold into these communities, but it's a product that's also owned by the icons and the thought leaders within these communities. So a few of the names, like I mentioned, Kevin Hart, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and the man himself, Jay-Z. So we look forward to what this partnership is going to do, how Mitchell & Ness are going to evolve beyond this, and we'll definitely be bringing you the step-by-step as it unfolds. Now, moving on to my next story. Keep my wife's name out your... Remember that? Well, the night that should have been Will Smith's greatest night in his career turned into a disaster when he delivered that open palm sissy slap to the man himself, Chris Rock. Now, that was a shocker to everybody, including the people who were seated at the Oscars. Well, what we didn't know is that the man, Floyd Mayweather, actually reached out to Will Smith for 10 consecutive days after that incident, knowing the kind of trauma that Will Smith might have gone through with this incident. Floyd Mayweather decided to take their friendship beyond the normal hey, hello on the red carpet and actually reached out for 10 days to check on his friend Will Smith. Now, we have a video to that effect where Will Smith recently in London at the premiere of a new movie kind of brought it out to the public, thanking Floyd Mayweather for his friendship and his companionship at a very tough time. Let's get into that.
Is that you remain you. When you say something, whether you like it or not, you said it. When you stand on something, you stand on it. And that makes you iconic in every way outside of anything, because we got a whole bunch of people that just do what everybody want them to do, and you've been that guy forever, and you're the greatest because of that, man. So, had him here.
And I want to say something also about Floyd. So, you know, we've met each other, we've seen each other around, but we weren't like friends. And the day after the Oscars, for 10 days, he called me every day.
Wow.
And he was like, hey, you know you the champ, right? You good? You know you the champ, right? I want you to hear my voice say it. I was like, every day he called me, and it's like, that's my dude forever right there.
Let me tell you how he rubbed it in my face today. I thought I was doing something good by inviting him here. He's like, well, that's my guy. We talk every day. I'm
Now, the beautiful thing about this whole thing with Floyd Mayweather and Will Smith is that, well, a bit of an irony. Will Smith spent his entire career being non-violent and not even swearing in his movie and reaching great heights, where you have a man like Floyd Mayweather who uses his fist to settle issues and make a living. And for such an issue where Will Smith lost his cool, and having somebody who is coming from this place where we think is brutish, rather following up with the compassion and the love and the support for a brother at a time where he lost control, it tells you that there's always a balance in life. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, but how you interact with each other, how we interact with each other defines the kind of life we create for each other. So that's a beautiful thing that we saw right there with Floyd Mayweather and Will Smith. Now, moving on to my last story, Manchester United. I think today I'm going to disown United, but we'll discuss that later. But the man Cristiano Ronaldo is not having a good time in England. Well, recently he snubbed Gary Neville on the touchline on the Sky Sky Pundit panel. What happened was that, you know, he walked off the last match with Tottenham, and it was the talk of time. When everybody spoke about it, every sports pundit, every tabloid, everybody on Twitter made noise about it. But for some reason, he actually thought that Gary Neville should not have been a part of that commentary. He shouldn't have said anything, because Gary Neville did make some comments about it on air. Well, I think Cristiano Ronaldo didn't take it too lightly. You can see in the video there where he walked up to everybody else in the punditry, but decided not to indulge the company of Neville. Well, they took it to their actual pundits show, and they commented about it. They didn't keep it a secret. They didn't pretend to sweep it under the carpet. Let's get in on that Sky News panel and see exactly how they dealt with the snub.
The Manchester United players just emerged behind us to a very good reception, particularly for Cristiano Ronaldo, who had a good reception for our pundits as well. Louis Sahar catching up with an old mate, Jamie Redknapp. Oh. You see, Gary, Jamie Carragher will tell you that's what happens if you speak against Cristiano.
We're off the Christmas card list, aren't we?
So, Gary Neville and Carragher as well. Two people who were snubbed by Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, Gary Neville didn't take it personally. He took to social media and said, I guess we're off the Christmas list then. They had a laugh about it and business went on. But the real issue here is that it seems like Cristiano Ronaldo is having a tough time balancing the weight of his greatness with being a normal guy. He already hit the phone out of the hand of the autistic boy. He walked off the turf and out of the stadium because he was unhappy with the coach's decision. And now he's snubbing his former teammates and sporting personalities. This is not a track record you want to build when you're reaching the pinnacle of your career. So we say to Zero that, you know what, you're on a yellow card with us here at Sports Direct. We hope the news about you coming up in the next few weeks stays positive and uplifting. Let me get back to Jay and Miss G in the studio. I really want to touch on the Will Smith and Floyd Mayweather story and what they thought about Will Smith when the news hit the airwaves about his quote-unquote attack on Chris Rock.
Well, it's just surprising that, like you said, you know, the boxer rather is calmer than the actor. An actor who hasn't used any swear words in any of his movies, or, you know, always projecting that top range, top class actor, and then he's just marred by this incident. You know, where it's a test of temper and test of reaction and, you know, test of being celebrity. You know, and the weight of the world on you and its reaction to that. And to find out that he and Floyd have this relationship and, you know, a couple of days to time he had been reaching out to him and all. I mean, that shows another side of Floyd that we never knew.
That's true. But, you know, locally, and you know what that reminded me of? The other day when we were on radio, I was telling you, when you mentioned the Abraham Atta incident, that it's how I got to know your brother. I haven't met him in person.
Yes.
You know, but Jay...
in fact, I've been talking about Abraham Atta, like, you know, like how I've been bigging up that movie. I had watched it over and over.
You see that thing. Yeah. But when the incident happened, one thing I remember was that I had somebody send me a Facebook messenger. I can't remember his name, but all I know is that he says, I'm Jay Foley's brother. And
is it?
Yeah, and he says, and you and my brother are in this together. It was just to, like, you know, tell me that, you know, like, I know how it feels for the whole of Ghana to be, you know,
the whole world.
You know, to be talking about, you see, to be talking about you and, you know, take it easy.
International hala.
I'm telling you, mate.
So it just tells us sometimes, you know, you have people who you don't really talk to on a daily. And I've had people I don't even know on social media will come to my DM when I have, things happening.
Issues,
da 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 da. And it goes a long way to, comfort you sort of,
There are good people out there, and every now and then they make their way to the chaotic situations to help us balance out stuff. And we appreciate such people. So, I think Floyd Mayweather was being a guardian angel for our man Will Smith. And I think for him to bring it up now, even in public so freely, it must have meant quite a lot to him.
True.
I mean,
but Zero, you think say what?
Zero is Sati. The problem is say Sati. The boy play rich where you go play rich. Make a break come down. The English, if I speak English too much, go baba. It's Sati. It's Sati for maybe for do and stop.
So you won't take back record, go retirement.
He's ruining it, right? This guy came out as a teen and he was stellar. And now that you are reaching your apex, it's this after that after this. We don't even talk about your football anymore.
Well, I think when you check your bank balance and, it's probably on a 9 digits, at that point
you
in time, sometimes you start
you
feeling on top of the world, Yeah, Buga. If you Buga, they play for your account.
Charlie, guys. So there you have it from Sport Direct. Whether you want to be the gardener in the wall or the warrior in the garden, remember to always think through your actions before you execute. Jay, Miss G, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Serial. And this is the first day of a new month. Wishing you a new month, a happy new month as well. Anyways, coming up next, Lenny takes us into our Trending Live.
All right, hello there, welcome back from that break, and you are still watching Culture Daily right here on Free Music TV. The name is Olele Salvador, and I am standing in literally for your regular host, Lenny Lomote. Now I'm bringing you trending live as usual on the Breakfast Show right here on Culture Daily. Now, we woke up to some terrible news, unfortunate news for that matter. Superstar, global superstar for that matter, Davido, unfortunately being hit with what you say as news that no father would want to hear on your way to the U.S. I'm talking about Davido's son, Ifeanyi, who had lost his life. Ifeanyi, apologies if I butchered the name. But yes, news reaching us is that Ifeanyi, the 3-year-old son of Davido and Chioma, unfortunately has gone to be with the Lord. Now, news broke out in the early hours of yesternight where many people were just praying that it was the opposite, because definitely if you've been following the superstar couple, you know that they are very, very much close to Ifeanyi, and we've seen videos of Davido bonding with the son in a swimming pool. Now, the bigger story here is it is alleged that the son unfortunately drowned in the same pool that you are watching right now in your screens. And the People's Gazette from Nigeria reported this, and they said that a source close to the family in a residence somewhere in Lagos said that the boy was inside water for too long, and they pulled him out and rushed him to the hospital. And then the family also said that the family source also said that by the time they rushed him to the Lagoon Hospital, it was already too late. Now, this is coming 3 days after this young lad celebrated his birthday, which was October 20th. He died yesterday in the early hours of Monday morning. Now, many people have been talking on social media. As you can see, Chioma is number 2 on the trends. Rest in Peace is also there. Unfortunately, Happy New Month, not a way to start the month if you ask me. But let's run through some of the verified news sources that definitely broke the news. And one of them being legend.ng, which is definitely a Nigerian news portal. And they say heartbreaking news as Davido and Chioma's son, Ifeanyi, reportedly passed. With reports hinted that Ifeanyi drowned in the swimming pool at the singer's home in Banana Island. Remember them in your prayers. Then we go to Peter Obi's boy that says, I woke up this morning to hear the ugly news has been confirmed to be true. This is so sad. David and Chioma are too young to handle this devastation. Please pray for Chioma. Pray for Chioma. R.I.P. Ifeanyi Chukwu. Davido, rest in peace. Eniola Badmos, Linda Ikije. Okay, all these things are not really part of the trends. But let's go to another tweet here by Daniel Brown, and he says, when Ifeanyi is finally hale and hearty, Davido should sue the out of those bloggers that were quick to spread this. But unfortunately, Daniel, the news has been confirmed. I'm sorry, and there's not going to be any form of suit you're looking for. And so we'll move away from that. Alex Teflon says, good morning, Nigerians. Please stay alive today. Everything in Nigeria is after your life. Okay, and stay out of trouble and unnecessary arguments, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, I'm going to take the last one from Instablog Nigeria, which is one of Nigeria's, super entertainment and lifestyle blogs, bringing you the exclusive news, everything, in Nigeria. And they have actually captured a post by actor Uchemba. Yep, actor Uchemba, who actually posted this on his story. I wish we could enlarge the second photo to read the... Okay, it's loading. Thank you very much. My team is putting that together. Good. So, Williams Uchemba, an actor in Nigeria, he says, I said I won't believe anything on social media until I personally confirm myself. I prayed for it to be a lie. I am upset, pained, and confused. Nobody deserves to feel this pain. Just like any other person who has followed the life of Davido and that of Chioma, everybody was praying and hoping that indeed the news was not what we expected it to be. But unfortunately, tweets and posts like these definitely do confirm that indeed the son of Davido and Chioma, Ifeanyi, has gone to be with the Lord in a rather bizarre manner. All right, now let's move on to other important news. Now, if you have been in the country for the last 24 to the 48 hours, you know that Sika Mpedede has been trending, and also the most popular line or most popular statement in French, which is l'argent n'est pas le bruit, right? And that is coming from none other than Adodi the Stallion, aka President Nana Akufo-Addo. And in his last presser, in his last address to the nation, he has asked, or he has admonished, that Ghanaians should do better in praising the city. In fact, you need to be giving the city positive affirmation. So the question I'm going to ask you guys is, have you spoken positively to the city this morning? When you woke up and you did your quiet time and you prayed, did you pray for the city? Did you say, city, arise? City, stay positive. City, do well. City, go up. That is what the president of the land has asked us to do. He said, you don't talk down on the city. In fact, where there is noise, there is no money. So as I am talking to you right now, in this beautiful studio, this plush studio, as you can see, it looks rich. There is money. Look at me. I look rich. There is money. According to none other than our very own president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, people have obviously they've gone berserk on social media. Now, they are upset. Like, what do you take us for, Nana? What do you take us for? I mean, we are the same Ghanaians that voted you into power. And we were hoping that you come and tell us something more soothing, something more comforting. But instead, you have asked us to conjugate the verb le bruit, right? So right now it is je brais, tu brais, nous brayons, vous brayez, il est brais. We are in a French class, and Nanado is our French teacher. But ladies and gentlemen, people definitely have been talking. That's why we are here bringing you all the news and the trends for Trending Live. We're going to start off with Efia Odo. Efia Odo says, Adodi should be the face of Audio Mark. I don't know if Efia Odo is looking to sign Nana Akufo-Addo as a music executive, but Audio Mark definitely is not what I thought she meant. And she goes on to say, Sika Mpedede, but you are the Dede boss. Someone say boss. Boss. Adodi, please come again and say something of substance. Audio man. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Efia Odo and Nana Akufo-Addo have some personal issues. I'm not too sure. Yep. Well, a lot of deleted tweets, of course, during the period. So screenshot Twitter, we in the building. You don't miss the action. Ghana Must Go says, if you don't voice out and y'all keep insulting her, calling her a whore, well, often, anytime if you don't speaks up on social media, they always want to, reduce her to that unfortunate definition. Whilst the real photos of Adodi Ghana. So what did if you don't say? So this is 31st October 2022, just so you know. And if your was captured saying that I really wish I was dating a minister, I would take all their money and fix. Girl, are you sure? Y'all want me to be a whore so bad because that's the only insult y'all campaign on me. I shall not be easy. That's why I can't do it. Well, even if you look at the economic situation in Ghana right now, to be very honest, I don't know how the Ashawos, quote unquote, are doing it. Let's move on to some more. Thomas Kwame Sankara says, reminder, the NPP government and Adodi made it clear that they will never go to the IMF again to the extent that they held a party for the occasion. Okay, I'm not ready for the politics this morning. Let's go to some more. Frank Doe says, okay. I beg, I see you, then you day Elantra inside. Don't come and take Adodi in fight. It go over you. Wow, and that's because Keche says, buy Kantanka, no duty, Matabia. Keche, you're not reading the room. You are not reading the room. Let's move on to some more. Profinit says, the way Adodi they bore everybody. Okay, the way Adodi they bore everywhere, meaning non-partisan Ghanaians, both home and abroad. Sika and Pedede. I want to give a big shout out to Stoneboy. Stoneboy, you're a prophet. Stoneboy, you're a prophet because you saw this in Bawasaba. And wherever you are, I hope you cash out from the royalties that are going to be, coming out as a result of the songs that they are going to be put on TikTok. Yes. And I hope it pushes up the stream of Bawasaba because it's a fantastic song. Let's take some more. Adodi turned out to be everything we suspected and feared. A spoiled rich kid that never lacked anything and can't sympathize with the poor and vulnerable. Fellow Ghanaians, these are the days of our lives. And unfortunately, we have to come to that reality. All right, moving away from Sika Mpedede and the French class special, in fact, the Alliance Française with Akufo-Addo. Let's go to more exciting news. Now, many of you may have heard of the name Gabriel Union. And for those of you who are NBA stars and, NBA lovers or NBA fans, you definitely know of Dwayne Wade. Now, the beautiful news is this beautiful lady, Gabriel Union, is 50 years. She celebrated her 50th birthday 2 days ago. And as part of the 50th celebration, you know how it goes down with taking back to where you come from, connecting with your ancestry, Naze. Yep, Dwayne Wade, the wife, and Kava. Kava is a very popular personality on social media, for those who don't know. She's known for her facial reactions. And as you can see in the video, she's got those kind of reactions that have made her popular. So that's Gabriel Union and Dwayne Wade, who used to play for the Miami Heat. And these were the scenes. Unfortunately, we can't bring you the sound, but these were the scenes at the sites at the Kotoka International Airport. Okay, I'm told there is sound. So let's take you to the Kotoka International Airport where Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union, as well as Kabia, were received by beautiful Ghanaians. You know, the beautiful thing about this country is when you see such things, you begin to wonder if indeed times are hard. I mean, you look at the smiles on their faces and you look at the beautiful lady dancing over there. Clearly, I mean, of course, we are known to be very hospitable people and we welcome all sort of people into this country. And Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union are not different from that. But what I'm receiving, the juice here is Gabriel Union and Dwayne Wade have been installed as Nkosua Hima and Nkosua Hine respectively in a town somewhere in the eastern region. It's called the Adoso. I'm so sorry. Sometimes, you know, I forget myself. So Adoso, right? Adoso, right? So yeah. So I'm going to quote a text from GhanaWeb.com, and it says that reports say it is to witness the installment of Edinkra Group CEO Diallo Sambri as Nkosua Hine, which is the Chief of Development in Yamebetre, a community between Adoso and Koforidua in the eastern region of Ghana. So that is what we know so far, and that is why we are witnessing their visit to Ghana. But also, I need to remind you that we are getting closer into a festive season that has invited the diasporans all across the globe. So don't be surprised when you see other more people coming through. But let's read some of your tweets, list some of your reactions. Amir Deborah definitely sharing the news. You know, if you don't know, I don't know where you've been. Yeah, so definitely Amir Deborah sharing the news. Gabriel Union and her husband, they will make a stop in Accra on their African tour. I did mention that they are on an African tour. They were in Kenya not too long ago. Of course, you've watched the video where News Africa is also tweeting the same. Former Miami Heat point guard and 3 times NBA champion Dwayne Wade in Ghana with his wife, actress Gabriel Union. Goldilove says, Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union should know that soon one of their daughters wouldn't be welcome in Ghana because of a... okay, all right, okay. I'm just standing in for someone. I'm not going to be in any trouble with that. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to move on to the next topic on the bill. And we are talking about Halloween. Now, those of you who know this activity or this kind of celebration, you do know that it is an opportunity for you to be anybody in the world. I'm not too sure about this part of the country or this part of the world. In Ghana, if you are looking to be in a Halloween costume, you just might end up at the prayer cup. But let's take you through some of the celebrities, superstars that, took advantage of the day to be whoever they wanted to be. So I'm going to run you through some of the videos. And as you can see behind the screen, I'm going to take you to my screens and then we are going to share with you the costumes and some of, so you are looking at on your screen right now. This is from, this is Kim Kardashian. This is from X-Men, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is from X-Men. And she decided to go in this particular costume. Who do we have? We have Kylie Jenner. Yes, the Kardashians like to go the extra mile. It's almost believable. Almost believable. And that's Kim Kardashian on your screen right now. And you can see Storm on her right. And I'm not too sure the character on the left. But yeah, I'm sorry, forgive my movie database. But this is definitely another costume and that you can see. Now, I'm going to show you a video of P. Diddy, who was actually going through the process of becoming someone that you are definitely going to have a serious interest in. Let's check this video out.
It's the only way, you know what I'm saying? Support your own.
Tyler, you are my favorite rapper in the world. He looks beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, you love it. This is top tier. Get out of the car.
DC comic fan, definitely you should know that character that appeared on your screen, and that is Batman's nemesis, the Joker. And that is what P. Diddy decided to be. It's very interesting because that is what he's actually afraid of. I know you also on the shot was Tyler, the creator, obviously responding to a near perfect impression or representation of the Joker. Now, you are wondering why we have focused the trends on just Twitter, and that's because today is Twitter Tuesday, and so we are bringing you all the trends from Twitter. And as you can see on your screen right now, that is Tiger. Yeah, remember Tiger? The one who did the song with Kiddy? Yes, not Kiddy doing the song with him. Tiger did the song with Kiddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's him on your screen right there. So that's what we have for you on today's Twitter Tuesday. I'm going to interact with the team in the studio, Jay and Miss G, just to pick a few thoughts on what we have witnessed so far on the trends. Jay, Miss G, hi, it's my first day here.
Well, that's why, that's why Tuesdays on Twitter is always brutal, because when it comes to Twitter and opinions, people will definitely take you to the mud and drag you in the mud with this.
Yeah.
With regards to the president's state of the economy that was shared on Sunday, I knew definitely certain words would trend, like, Sikampe Dede, which is going to be a t-shirt very soon.
Right.
It's going to be the brand new morning show name. It's going to be merchandise. It's going to be, and I think our president has got a good track record of getting things to trend, like the Calipo, which...
His spectacle.
Yeah. Yes.
His own spectacle.
Yes, his own spectacle became another trend. And now it's Sikampe Dede. Now French is like, the French class is like now top of the range.
I love that one. You want to take me through it again?
Yeah, what is it?
L'argent.
No. The composition. No, so je what?
Oh, je bread. I mean, we are conjugating a bread in the country. All right. So since the president has taken us into Alliance Française, which is our French classroom,
I bread,
we
you bread, you
je
bread.
tu bread, il bread, elle bread, il est bread, nous brayons, vous brayez, il est bread.
Nous brayons that I like.
Nous brayons.
Nous brayons. I know, right? Well, you've definitely taken us into class on this. And yes, also with the Halloween celebration and how Diddy took it. I mean, it's interesting. You can't do Halloween here because it's already a Halloween. It's already a Halloween. It is scary. You didn't get it? Like, you don't need to put on a Halloween, any mask to scare somebody or to... It is scary.
Jay, what are you trying to tell our country?
Aren't you afraid?
What are you trying to tell our country, Jay?
No. Aren't you afraid? Look at me. Aren't you afraid?
He says we are a scary bunch of people.
Have you seen Serial? You are not afraid.
All right, JMG, thank you so much for joining me on this segment. So, guys, there you have it. Bringing you Twitter Tuesdays, and because definitely I'll bring you TikTok Thursdays later this week. But where we have Twitter Tuesdays on Trending Live, hitting it back to Jay to bring us more.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Salvador. This isn't our real face. If you were, this is not our real face. Oh, this movie when our real face.
What's the real face?
It's scary. Scary face.
Hey, that used to be my artist's name.
Yeah.
I thought.
Shatawale said super scary. So.
No, there's screw face, but I thought we had some scary face too. Scarface. Scarface. Is it Skyface?
Skyface.
He's not in Sky. I don't know why I'm thinking of scary things. I'm trying to put a scary to somebody's name. Yeah.
Well, okay, so we're going to be getting into the art and science of digital music consumption. That's our major topic this morning. Now, yes, most of you jump on your digital music platforms to consume music. You talk to your Siri, and then your Siri plays music for you. You know, you use your Google Music Play and all those platforms. Yes, we've had some in this country created for us, designed for us, but customer or consumer behavior sometimes has altered the use of these platforms. We want to understand this. Now, this is going to be a very interesting conversation as our guest will join us later on in the show in the next 5 minutes. Our next segment is Studio 899, The Big Conversation. Over on Friday evening, giving us exclusives as well when we hosted them right here at the premises of 3 Music Networks. It was an amazing event. Big shouts to Stonebwoy and the whole Beam team that were here with us. Amazing video, I must say. Shouts going out to Joy Williams as well for cooking up this amazing visuals to the song. And Stonebwoy did share an explanation to the song as well in an almost 30-minute video. I'm waiting for them to share that video actually online. I don't know if you can find it on their YouTube page, where he further explains the making of this video. And of course, I'm sure it was a backbreaker in terms of finances as well, but it's all part of the making of, the growth of Stonebwoy and as it is. The conversation this morning is not necessarily about Stonebwoy, but it's about music consumption, the art and science behind it. And that's what we want to be talking about this morning. Another masterclass for us to understand the behavior of the consumer, us, me, you. How we consume music on these platforms. What kind of songs do you want? What times do you want these songs? What types of songs are you looking for? How some of these artists are being positioned on these platforms. Who is getting ahead of who? A couple of days ago, I was soaking music, on YouTube, where I just clicked on other West African countries' artists. And guess what? Automatically, the algorithm just gave me over 20 continuous, consistent productions until I think the 17th song that played was that of Camido, which even featured, another artist, a Nigerian artist in there. Well, there are questions to be asking about this. Is it us who have determined how the playlisting of some of these songs on these digital platforms behave? Well, we'll get into all these discussions. Well, the team is here, cooked up and ready to go. Allow me to introduce them to you. Now, this will be very funny. I have on my right, Please, let's get a wide shot for this because I want to do this introduction very well.
Hello, is my mic on?
No, yeah, it's back on now.
My mic is on.
I have on my right,
be careful,
Mr.
Yeah, go spoil it. Best say we
I think we have some of these microphones, headphones open too loud. If we can just touch on all of them and lower them, yes. Still, okay, sure. I'm still getting feedback. You found it? Yeah, great. So I have on my right, Star. He's a current.
I go spoil everything here. Yes.
Run himself. Yeah.
You said Beam team, Beam family. Please, we are a nation.
Hey, sorry.
Beam nation. It's like you didn't get the memo. When you said Beam family, Beam team, I was like, you are making us small. We Beam nation.
So wait, the Beam nation, they are a nation. SAC nation, they are a nation. All of them, they are nations in this nation, Ghana.
Exactly.
We are the only one that you need visa.
How many nations do we have in Ghana?
This is the reason why the CD is having this.
We are the only nation in the industry that need the visa.
We have Shatter Movement. Yes. Then Team Move.
Yes.
Hey, which one again?
You have to. There must be a collection. That's why. So you always call your fans. Only call your fans. Your fan base.
Ghanaians.
Anyway, the main person amongst us this morning is Happy Assign. He says he's a music technologist. I like that definition, or that title, a music technologist. There's a lot to discuss about this topic, and a very massive, great delivery on trending today.
Ah, thank you.
Yes, the TikTok. Sorry, the Twitter trends are just
That's
hilarious.
how butterflies my tummy though.
The one that kills for me is the people, the comments with the president's speech.
Yeah. Charlie, I don't know. Like, you see, I don't want to turn this a political show.
No, we wouldn't. We'll bring it back to music.
I think our president is the most active president on social media.
Yes.
Sorry, I think the president is the most active president on social, Ghanaian president on social media because the kind of content he gives us.
Oui.
I think maybe when the French ambassador, if she were here, it would have
been different.
I would be surprised to get a response from her wherever she is in this.
I know that she's heard French is trending in the country.
It's crazy.
And so you will definitely come with something.
But it also comes to make us realize how people behave on these platforms. How we consume, how we understand, and how we use these platforms to express ourselves. I think some of these music platforms should start allowing people to comment on another songs. it will be disaster, wouldn't it? But anyway,
growing up, we were listening to, we were downloading songs from GhanaMusic.com, GhanaMotion.com, and stuff like that.
You have to move back small.
You know, there's actually an artist in this guy. I don't want to mention the name, right?
Yes.
He went on a platform, a music platform. Music, right? Music platform. And his own song. Just went on GhanaMotion.com. And I'm like, bro, your own song.
But about that thing, I know this is not the subject of the conversation, but I don't know, just touching on it briefly, is it like, can you brand somebody's song like that and take ownership of it?
Non. Je vous... c'est le consultant, la musique, j'ai propriété un artiste.
Je crois.
Il est brillant. Il est download illégal.
But is that? I meant to translate, but it's not allowed. Like, you know,
I mean, it's not allowed, bro. It's not allowed. Right? It's not allowed. Listen, like even Apple Music doesn't brand your song. Nagana Motion. It's not allowed. We just let it. Yeah, let's be honest. Then, bro, we don't use. It's not done. It's not done, but we just allow it because...
I feel it depends. What are the terms and conditions to publish on these platforms?
Yeah.
So if they are detecting that, if you want to put your song here, this is
then
the
we have to do it.
Yeah,
but I'm told that those some platforms in the US and co were doing that. You know, Hot 97
Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Really?
Those are radio.
It was just
the radio platforms that have music repositories.
Right.
They tag it, so you download something that's Hot 97, and then blah blah blah.
Okay.
But that's because you probably brought it to Hot 97 and you are playlisted with them.
Right.
And part of it is that they will tag it for downloads.
Which platform's signature is that?
I think Big XGH.
Big XGH.
Yes.
Oh, shouts to Big X.
But they held it down for a long time.
Which one?
Yeah.
It was still them.
No, then shout to Big X because
they set the trend.
A massive platform to a lot of the artists distributing music.
So those days, if your song did on Big SGH, it's a song.
Yeah. Like if you hear that signature, it's a banger.
Wow.
It's a banger.
Okay, so where do we begin our conversation from in understanding the art and science behind these platforms? But first, please, just for the purposes of people who are naive to music platform, because people like me still consume music via radio and cassette. Don't ask me how. I have cassette in my car. I said I have cassette in my car. I play cassette. I'm now yet to go to Discman, and I'm still graduating.
Okay.
What are some of the most popular or commonly used digital music or music platforms? The very common ones.
Right.
International, and then let's come to local.
Okay. So, salute to your viewers. From international, one of the biggest is Spotify, which has over 110 million subscribers.
Wow.
Yes.
110 million.
Over 110 million subscribers. Then Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, AudioMac.
Which company is behind Spotify? Or is Spotify? Yeah, Spotify. That's their company name.
That's what they do, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Then
how is Jay-Z's own faring? Sorry.
That's Tidal.
That's Tidal. Is it active? I haven't heard much of it.
It is.
So I'll also not have stats to back. Yes, but the top three, it's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah. So if we are talking about the top three, you want to mention Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer. Yeah. Then AudioMac, because of its free tier. So we have
Office because of its
free tier.
Free tier.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
yes.
It's not
non-subscription.
So you accept ads to be able to listen to music for free.
Sorry, I think I need to get this off because I can barely hear. So
I was saying,
yeah.
AudioMac is also popular, and I feel it's popular because of its free tier. It has a freemium package. That's what we call it. Yeah, where you don't have to pay, but you accept ads whilst you listen.
So it's a barter.
Yes, so you
So
watch
the others, you subscribe to them and
Yes.
pay. You pay to be on them.
to be on the platforms. Yeah.
On oh yes, my Apple Music is charging.
Yeah, like Apple
right,
Music.
I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are also has a
That's why
premium
constant. You get to know, then alert.
Yeah.
Then alert.
You think the music is hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri?
No.
And now that the dollar is also experiencing its, own.
Sorry to cut you. So yesterday, there's this one of these music platforms that I'm just keeping the name off because now that they're taking money from me, they don't hype them. And they tell me $9 or $14 or so.
Hey, that's like 22,000 cities.
There were nine and something, so we added to 14.
$14.
Yes, and when they took, it were two. So when it took
$14 total.
Yes, when
like
it took it from
36,000
me,
cities.
bro. As I see the thing, because then you left me 337 for the account inside. So as they tell I'm 228, I said,
that'll be running around the account. No, that one that you mentioned for me.
Big man.
Anyway, so so back to you. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying with AudioMac, because of their free tier, they have should I say some kind of dominance here. What I have realized is Ghanaians haven't been
in
used,
Ghana or in Africa?
In Ghana.
In Ghana, okay.
Ghanaians haven't been used to paying for the music we listen to. Like we mentioned, the Ghana Motion and the biggest GH has spoiled us. So to suddenly have to pay, it takes time to have to get that behavior and tag along. So they tend to look for other free avenues to still get the songs. So in software engineering or softwares, applications that you don't pay for, usually you are the product, like Facebook. You are not paying for it. So they sell your data, like they are like, I can show your content to this number of people. So you are what they are using to sell their platform, right? So platforms like AudioMac will also do the same because they can tell others who want to sell products or services that they have this number of people listening around this time of the day, and if you advertise with them, you can reach this far. So these platforms use ads to exchange if you don't subscribe. Deezer also has a freemium package, and they also use ads in between their plays.
Okay, when we mentioned Deezer, I do recall that there was a point in time when we had Tigo.
Yeah.
Deezer. Is that the same Deezer or Tigo?
No, this
partnered.
This Deezer, I think this Tigo's Deezer is not the streaming platform Deezer that I know.
Okay.
I don't think
So
so.
it's actually the same thing.
Because I was going to say somebody was
It's
about
a
to.
partnership so that subscribers of a particular Tigo data will have access to Deezer.
Because I remember
for free.
there was a Sarkodia Deezer relationship here when the CEO, I think it was at one of the music awards or something like that, that he was into Deezer. I remember something like that.
It was very. I think it was the biggest at the time.
Yeah.
It was the biggest at the time when he came into the system, and that's why I was hoping to ask him how the telecommunications can take advantage of some of this, especially during this financial crisis, and how we have to now pay to listen to some of our songs in exchange of supporting the artists. Oh, support your own, support your own, support your own. But like you're saying, the dollar and the CD now are miles apart. So how am I able to support an artist when the dollar is literally crying? If yesterday I was paying 60 Ghana cedis per maybe $4, right? And the dollar is up, say, by 15 cedis. I'm going to be paying more. So that means it affects my budget. People have had to stop their cards from auto renewal. And what that means is I'm not going to listen to your song on Apple Music again. So what does that mean? Are we going to go back to
Okay, so please, yes, further explaining these platforms. That's what I want to ask, because I mean, just for the benefit of those who are not really in sync with understanding how these platforms are, what they even are. So we had mentioned Deezer, we mentioned all these other platforms, and how they operate, how they work.
Right, so he mentioned about payments, and I think Spotify now has presence here, and due to that, they have our version of their subscription.
When you say they have presence here, a physical office?
Not really, but they've been making some noise in this space.
Okay,
and they have come out with special packages for us, so they don't charge the usual dollar values anymore. You get Ghanaian CD versions of that, which means no matter what happens to the rates, you are still going to pay that fee. Yeah, so that's with Spotify now. Yeah.
Do you have an idea of the subscription and which of the platforms Ghana would probably be consuming the most?
No, but with the
or it has popularity here?
What that's with AudioMac because of their free tier.
Oh.
Yes, because you don't really have to subscribe to anything. You can just start and you are listening.
Do you have to, unlike Apple Music, and I'm asking these questions because I'm naive on it, unlike Apple Music, do you have to download it and have it on your device, or it comes with the, because I know, Apple Music is already
Apple
on
Music
my,
comes with your iPhone.
With my iPhone, yes.
Right. Apple Music works on Android devices as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it has. It does. So
yeah, I have Apple Music on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does. So it's a mobile app, which means you can download and use it on any supported device, right? And as you mentioned, if they have to download apps, I think I have tried Deezer, I've tried Apple Music and Spotify. They have web versions, which means even if you don't have the app installed, you can still use their web application, which means you can launch it in a browser and still stream music. Yeah.
We'll be coming to the consumer behavior, but I don't know if you can help understand how these platforms work in terms of exclusivity in holding artist music and all. I just want to understand if it is difficult for an artist to maybe you can put on Tidal, but you can't put it on Spotify. You can't put it on this. You can't put it on that. Are there any restrictions of any sort like that?
No. So what happens is, even with the musicians, you don't interface directly with the platforms. You don't talk to Apple Music, you don't talk to Spotify. What you do is, we have distributors or aggregators who allow you to publish once and get it on these various platforms. So you don't even know, should I say, Apple Music doesn't even know you.
Oh.
Yes, they don't. They don't know you. Because let's look at the number of musicians or songs that are released even in a day, right? If they are supposed to be those directly processing and talking to this artist, it's going to be overwhelming.
So how did these artists get to go to their offices when they travel? I've seen many artists at their Spotify office. I've seen them go places. How then do they get access if they don't know them?
Correct. So when I say they don't know you, this is what I mean. Going into an office and using a public interface like an app is different. If I have the connect to link me to their offices, if I'm around, that's different. But to publish songs, they don't even know who is publishing. They connect APIs to aggregators like DistroKid, Ditto,
1RPM.
Yes, all of those guys. So as an artist, all I have to do is to sign up onto any of these platforms. Then I upload a song with the metadata and all of that. I'm even allowed to choose which platforms I want to publish on. Then it goes there. So you don't go directly to Apple Music. You don't go directly to
Let me switch over to, I beg your pardon, let me switch over to Max Olajavon, who's also on the line with us this morning. Max, good morning. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, Charlie. Technology,
can you hear me?
T network. T Music Network.
Let's unmute his mic.
Okay, so maybe you might have to unmute your mic for me. Can you hear me now?
It's unmuted. It's unmuted.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so
him.
I'm just struggling to hear him.
Okay.
You also can't hear him, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Check your headphone.
Well, everything is loud and clear. Trust me. But I can't seem to.
I can hear you.
I'm still struggling to pick feed on that. But we'll get that feed. But if you can hear me, let me just have you share your thoughts on this so far about the platforms and how people gain access to them. Apia had already mentioned these aggregators and how they operate. Can you just shed light on it for us a bit, for the purpose of those who also don't understand how this works?
Okay, so for example, like he mentioned, if I heard him, Ditto, Empire, 1RPM, all these guys are people who aid artists to get their music from their rooms onto their streaming platforms, right? And then they are the ones who communicate with these DSPs, DSPs being AudioMac, Spotify, Apple Music, and the rest. So they aid you to get your music onto those platforms. And when it's done, when you have added service with them, they do whatever you need for you in terms of marketing or in terms of communicating your wants and needs to these people. So you can see other people having like a face brand representation on all these platforms. Yeah, it's due to conversations being had on behalf of these artists.
I was going to ask as well, since you mentioned these aggregators that and the services they offer, is there a way that people can pay for services that would, boost or position their music in a certain way on the apps? So, example, that maybe I want a playlist of an Afrobeat playlist. I want to get my song on the top of the chart in there. Is there a way that these aggregators or these music platforms can, sort of accept cash as a service, if you understand what I'm saying, to ask for a promotion?
No, except I think AudioMac, right? AudioMac does on-platform marketing, which is basically, you see how if you have an AudioMac app right now, right? You see this, they serve advertising, which includes like you see how YouTube rolls ads, pre-roll ads and everything else, right, on the platform. AudioMac does the same on their platform. So AudioMac does take a marketing budget. Their sales department does take a marketing budget to push your music. And then without even money going to the sales department, you can still push your music on the platform. But apart from them, Apple Music, Spotify and the rest do not do any sort of that. You just have to get your marketing right. For example, when I say marketing right, you having the resources with your team to plan and say, okay, cool. For this release, Apple Music, we are giving you guys 4 weeks ahead or 2 months ahead. This is our plan for releasing music. And this is how we plan to also pin back to you guys. Right. Then they look at the release and then decide, okay, you'd get a hero banner, you get this, you get that, you get that. Spotify the same. If you go to them, your presentation or your approach or the time frame at which you approach them would also aid you in getting certain things from them, like Spotify playlist covers, which are like a lot of people's like dream to get like being put on like Spotify covers. So those are the things that you can get from them with a very good pitch. And your good pitch should have a good marketing in it. It should have them in mind, saying that we are not just taking from you, but we are giving.
Yeah.
Right. Then they can understand and say that, okay, cool, then let's work. Because it's a collaboration at the end of the day, right? Between the artist and the platform. So that's why sometimes when artists are being put on playlists, they are sent covers to post. That's where they get the covers from. They get the covers from these DSPs, and the DSPs mostly send it to either they know the artist team or they send it to their distributors to send to the artist. So it's a collaboration most often. So if you see people not getting all these things, then it's either they are not pitching right, or they are not using the right ways or right methods or the right people, or going through having the right conversations, essentially. But there is no way you can just pay for an Apple Music playlist or a Spotify one. I'm throwing this
next question to you, Max, and to Apia. I don't know who might have a better knowledge about this, but how do these platforms pay? We'll be coming to the consumer. We are at the end, the final, the end of the food chain. But how do these platforms pay? I know they pay per, your streams and all, but I'm just wondering in terms of their revenue and how they're able to split these revenues across, because they're generating revenues from subscriptions, and how they are able to divide all this, for everyone. Yeah. And roughly, what is the unit price, per stream or to the artist, if you have an idea?
Right. So with the unit price, it's very, very small. So usually it's calculated per number of a significant number of streams. So let's say I know Spotify does about over 300,000 streams for $1,000.
over 300,000 streams
for $1,000.
I beg you, Siri, you like math? Calculate the unit price for me.
Yeah,
Why is the way you came to
so
it's
I have to go.
Sometimes, it's sometimes.
Cyril school is a top-notch school.
Right. So
today, I'm not need your help. I go do them.
So it's. I sometimes want to hear the figures people receive when they come out to say this particular
1 million
song,
streams
this particular song was my biggest and I have made a lot of money. Like, what do they mean a lot of money? Because if you know how these things are measured, and I even go onto these platforms to see how their numbers are going, and averagely, a typical Ghanaian artist with enough following ranges between, let's say, 500 and maybe 100 and 1.5 million monthly streams on Spotify.
And that's like how much?
And that's like an
so divide.
I'm doing the conversion now.
So there are just a few of them do over 1 million a month. Just a few of them. I know Kiddy does 1 million. I haven't checked Black Sheriff recently. I think Sack is around that. Stoneboy to Shatawale close.
I think Shatawale shared. I saw a post on his. What did I even say?
I'm on Music Gateway, so we can. Music Gateway should convert it for us. Just 1 second.
Shatawale shared a post on his streams and all, but I mean,
on which platform?
No, I mean, I think he took a snapshot of I saw it this morning.
Black Sharif has 1.2 million.
Correct.
Monthly listeners on Spotify. And Kweku the Traveler happens to be the highest with 19.6 million streams.
So that's for the song. This is accumulated over time.
That's what right?
So that's the lifetime stream for the song.
Yes.
But his monthly
average
1 million.
is 1 million.
1.2 million.
Yeah. So on just Spotify, if you want to have a fair idea of what he's making, then you divide this by 300,000.
No, I want to know whether that's a reason.
And also, all of these monies don't go straight to the artist. That's why I mentioned earlier that this platform is correct. They also take whatever they have to take. If that is the agreement,
right,
then the rest comes
like a percentage of the streams.
Yeah. A service fee, they call it.
Is that the reason a lot of these artists will say, I've got 1 million across all my streaming platforms? Is that why they will say that, so that we don't begin to say, okay,
just 20,000 on Spotify, 2,000 on this, 1 million
across all the streaming platforms, and we don't even bother to check. Maybe like now you're telling me there's a duration, maybe it's monthly, sometimes it just comes, we have 1 million across all the streaming platforms.
For how long?
For how long? We don't ask.
So for the calculation from the Music Gateway. For 1 million streams, it's $4,000 on Spotify, $5,000 on Apple Music, $12,000
for 1 million streams.
$12,000 on Tidal, $4,700 on Deezer, $5,000 on Amazon Music, $1,400 on Pandora, $1,750 on YouTube, and $1,300 on SoundCloud Pro.
And these are flat rates, if I can. It doesn't depend on the region you are listening to from.
No, and just for our artists listening and our up and coming artists listening, for context, you can visit Music Gateway. What they've done is that they plug into all the streaming platforms and use the rate of the day, kind of like a forex. So it's like a place where you can always track. So when a month is up and you have your listenership, you don't just want them to send you your summary that here's your money, this is what you got. You can also verify from an independent platform, and musicgateway.com is that platform.
But
so that's what I'm looking at.
You brought something to mind. I think you asked a question, and
Max is on the line too. You can also pose it to him.
I want to find out from Max, if he's the one to answer, whether your region or your jurisdiction matters when it comes to how much you're being paid. Because after breaking that down, somebody asked whether your region doesn't matter. Does it matter at all? If I was in Ghana and I consumed do the artists get paid? Is it generic?
It's generic.
Oh, it's generic.
It's flat rate. It's about the market the money is coming into.
It's a flat rate.
It's flat rate. So it's about the market. If you're in Ghana and let's say Spotify has to send you money from the States, the cost of getting that money to you is most likely going to be borne by you. Spotify is not going to pay extra to get the money to you where you are.
So now that we're talking money conversations, Max, let me find out from you as well. With your experience in dealing with this space, are artists making money off streams? Just because then this is coming off consumer.
They are making money. Ask the question: are they making enough?
Okay, are they making enough money? Yes, thanks for that clarification. Are they making enough money? Because then it brings it down to us, the consumers, and how we patronize these platforms.
Okay, so not a lot of artists in Ghana are making money on the streaming platforms. Cause
can you speak up a bit, bro?
Even we say that Apple Music just generates about 100,000 streams daily in this country. Let's say by consumer behavior, right? About like 100,000 a day. And then I'm seeing AudioMark in the last 30 days, Accra has generated 51.11 million streams over a period of 30 days, right? So, and that's being shared amongst a lot of artists in this country. So I'll tell you that a lot of artists in this country are not making money off streams. But then the only way they would make money is, there's small shows, like, go to concerts, do this, come and perform there. And I mean, it's global, right? It's global. A lot of these artists, even globally, don't really make money off streams. It's merch and touring. And that's something that it's not a culture here. So artists don't really make money on streams, not like that. Just a few people are making the streams, and then there are the people getting the millions of streams, the thousands of streams in a week. So I think someone mentioned about what duration, that's like a specific streaming counts. I mean, it counts for every time, but first week numbers are very important, or first 2 weeks or first 4 weeks numbers are very important to a lot of artists. That's when you see people making noise saying that in a day I got 2 million streams across all platforms, which is very, very important, and it shows how the trajectory you are going in, because after 4 weeks roughly, right, it will start plateauing. Right, so people announce it just to show people that even in a week I've gotten this numbers, and that is the trajectory you are at. So Ghana, a lot of people don't make money off streaming, and AudioMark is not paying that much, right? When it comes to streaming, Apple Music is not paying that much. Spotify, I think the highest paying is either Tidal and Deezer. If Serial can confirm that,
it is.
Side.
I mean,
the highest paying.
Of what you said, the 51 million, I think you said that was what, a monthly, 31 day.
For AudioMark.
That's 31 days in just Accra.
For which, for total all platforms or just one platform?
No, just AudioMark.
Just AudioMark. So for AudioMark.
Just AudioMark, 51.11 million.
So that's just a little more than $200,000.
And it's to be shared among a number of artists.
It's everybody, including the underground guy who is also on the platform.
So in Accra, that's even just for Accra, right?
Well, most of our streaming data is
that's just in Accra.
So that's in Accra only.
So if an artist is in Kumasi, does that mean he's out of that bracket? I just want to understand.
No, he's not out, but they're using Accra.
When you say artist is in Kumasi.
Sorry, Maxwell, I think Maxwell was talking.
Okay.
Yeah, Maxwell, you were saying.
So I'm saying that I can't find the data for the rest of the cities, right? I'll try and then find the data for Kumasi and then the rest for you guys. But so far, I'm just looking at Accra right now, and Accra is just 51 points. Right now it's updated. It's 51.13 million now.
Let me frame what I think you want to find out. So it means that per this conversation, it means that Accra has the highest consumers. Is that what it means? So the other region might have scattered people who patronize this platform. So it means that this 51 is supposed to be the highest. So
so there's an artist in the northern region who has equally uploaded his song on this aggregator, right? My concern is how much is he going to be making? Because he's most likely not even going to hit a 50,000 threshold.
So it brings us to that consumer conversation
The
that we're going to be having.
The biggest thing that we haven't touched on is the parallel line from streaming the music, economic empowerment, and access to affordable data. They go hand in hand. So the same way the telcos have majority of their data consumption in Accra, Kumasi, Ho, blah, blah, blah. It means that data consumption is being driven by data usage. What is using that data? Apps like our streaming platforms. So the cheaper data gets, the more streaming will be done.
Just to add
do you get it? So if you have 500 people in Tamale, a factor might not necessarily be how the artist is perceived in Tamale.
Right.
A factor could be how expensive is it for people in Tamale
to pay. Because that's what the Deputy Honorable Minister, Makoko Kumanti, said over the weekend on Peace FM, that they got access to data, because, in their previous manifestos, they were looking to establish more digital platforms to help Ghanaian artists, right? But they realized from the data that Ghanaians, or the average Ghanaian, was not ready to pay, for these streaming platforms. They would rather go to the nearby DJ and put in the pen drive.
But Tigo, I mean, they're defunct now, so I can mention the name.
So the question
Tigo tried to solve that. That's what the Tigo Deezer partnership was about.
But was it sustainable? Did it last?
I think the audience reception was the problem.
Okay, we will come to the consumer because the consumer is a big problem here. Not a problem. It's like the consumer, like the consumer interest changes this sector, right?
Kumasi has 76.42K. That's for Kumasi.
So let's just say 77,000.
76.4
is not.
Yeah, let's say 77,000.
Let's round it up. Somebody scream some freestone.
The last 30 days.
So, but what I want to find out, and something I really wish I could get an insight into. So when I was out there, what's up? The money is more.
$300.
Oh, Charlie.
$300.
Charlie.
And this is
$385 for 77,000.
Please, the stats you just gave, Maxwell, is for last. Is it for last month, or can you give us a time duration?
Last 30 days. Last 30 days.
Last 30 days.
So last 30 days in Kumasi, total music streamed was 77,000 streams.
And
so
that's equivalent.
This is not us. This is not Culture Daily saying it. This is from musicgateway.com.
Yeah.
So I mean, we stand to be corrected.
So you are saying that
also we are getting feedback that the figure that Apia mentioned is actually in connection to some music research done in the Americas and Europe. It's not.
No, not him. I think that references to what you posted. The minister's conversation.
No, I'm not talking like earlier. He mentioned the figure. Yeah, after the minister's conversation is different from that. But this is from
guys,
some of our people.
$385.
So let's talk about this thing. It's very important. I mean, it will dovetail into
I want to find out
consumer behavior.
I want to understand if so. For instance, when I was out there was a particular man who was interested in African music, and every time I got to interact with him, he said, hey, I should use Siri. So I didn't know what Siri was playing for. I'm so naive, I didn't even check. So he said, tell Siri what you want to hear. And 3 things I noticed. When I tell Siri, hey Siri, I want to hear music from Shatta Wale, it plays me a song from somebody named Shatta something somewhere. I had to constantly mention Shatta Wale before. I think maybe the pronunciation. So
it's wow. It's Wale. Shatta Wale.
And it's not just Shatta. I tried, when I say play me a song from, maybe play me Afrobeat or something.
We can try.
Oh, you can try. Maybe because we are in this jurisdiction, maybe my work.
What song you want us to play?
No, wait. I'm saying. So that's what the question. It brings me the question. So if we try this and it works now, it becomes a jurisdiction problem, because I was in America at that time when I was dealing with this man, and I realized that every time I had to either repeat the names of these people I'm trying to mention to get the songs to be played, or when I mention a song, it plays another song with the same title from an artist.
So you see, that will bring us to which I was going to ask about. I think we asked earlier on about how our songs or songs from different regions are positioned based on consumption on these platforms, and I want us to talk about that.
Even before that.
But Cyril, let's mark that point. $300 is what was shared in the last 30 days, or what will be shared for the last 30 days in Kumasi. That is a huge behavior conversation what we need to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very serious.
The people in Kumasi, their problem is not streaming. That's what I'm saying. We have the time to stream and do whatever. But
when you say the people in the Kumasi, the problem is not streaming. Are you saying access to data, access to internet?
No, I'm saying that like the socio-economic standing of the place determines the behavior of the people, right?
Right.
And we have a very cosmopolitan Accra,
right,
which is a mixed bag of people who are so overexposed, comparative to Ho, to Tamale, to Kumasi. So that is it. So the demographic of the audience in Kumasi is not the demographic of the audience. Like there are people having full English. Laboni is full by now. With people having full English breakfast and muffins and all. Please. Let's be serious. I think they are selling bread at Total.
Where the interchange is being.
I'm selling bread at Total.
Where the classic interchange, please.
You get what I'm saying.
What I'm asking you is, in every major capital, right, there are universities. There are campuses, right? And these are the target market for these conversations.
People in tech and people in Legon who are perceived as the cool people.
Tech.
Both, actually, if you ask me.
Let's be honest.
Don't let us start this.
Why
tech.
Please, can I talk to my guest? I would like to talk to my guest.
Tech.
Hi. Hello, sir.
Please,
can I talk to my guest?
While he's answering that, I want to you to answer this question for me. Does repeat streaming of a song, like put a song on repeat, does it add up to the number of times you streamed, or once you listen to it, maybe within
I was actually going to ask Maxwell that question because I heard that sometimes it's after 5 plays.
It's a time log,
or five consecutive.
So each the app uses the device ID and then the network IP. So when Jay Foley's phone picks up Serial's song and streams it once, there's a time log within which the money, the paid cost is registered as one play. So if you play my own song, you want to make Serial hits, so you play the song, you leave it on repeat all day. Maybe out of a 24-hour period, there's a billing cycle that's tied to the time log of the play. The same way how when you do an ad on social media, cost per click. If the person doesn't look at your ad for more than 8 seconds, I think they've even reduced it to 6 seconds now. It won't register. Same thing. So when you play it the first time, it registers because that's a new play.
And it applies for all the platforms or just
everywhere? Otherwise, they would lose money. Otherwise, Ashama would just stream. Everybody in Ashama will just turn their phones on and will hit.
What you're saying as a consumer, I would have to actually play the full song and not play and
your behavior would have to be as organic as possible for the AI to simulate an authentic play and cost it. So if you just keep playing and playing and playing because you think it will increase this thing. It's not
before you come here. So how do you? Because Vice in the US, they did a documentary on streaming farms where there was like a hub or a studio. They were hackers and programmers and they're plugging.
They work with VPNs. So what they do is that they work with VPNs, and then there are some devices that are able to clone and mask.
Because some of the streams were actually, fabricated. So you go to an artist and you see 100 million streams. It's all fabricated because there's actually a group of people that you pay to simulate that. You know. So I'm wondering how, based on what you're saying,
the farm works in this way, right?
Right.
First off, they are using VPNs, so they are moving for each unique play. The computer has to move to a new network location, and then it has to either clone and mask a new IMEI number, and then it's timed as well. So let's say I play Miss G's song, right? That's one authentic stream for her.
Right.
I use that same one unique stream for her.
Right.
I use that same IMEI and VPN. Maybe I'm VPNing from Brazil, that I'm in Brazil. So I play for all of you. By the time I'm done playing for maybe, I know that it takes 12 minutes for each unique play to register. I load up different artists for 12 minutes. But on the 13th minute, I come back to Miss G's song, but now my VPN has taken me to France. So she has 2 plays now within 13 minutes. Same, then we use France again.
So
then we
do that to be able to amplify and
so they syndicate. They have a room, maybe it's 200, 300 phones,
or devices,
all plugged into charging docks with a computer that's running, that's feeding all of them the same Wi-Fi, but maybe 50 of the phones are on a special Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And that Wi-Fi is run through a VPN, which is bouncing left, right, center. Another one. Don't ask me why I know it, so I'm not doing.
Yes, about the stream thing.
No, I watched the documentary too. A few people have done the documentary, and I was very intrigued by it.
Yes, about the stream thing.
It's close to simboxing.
Yeah. A song is supposed to be played for at least 30 seconds to be counted as a stream.
At least 30 seconds.
Yes.
So time is your enemy.
Yes, and that 30 seconds, to me, I say is everything that is all that matters to a song, so far as streaming is concerned. So if they are going to count your first 30 seconds to tell if this is an actual stream, what they also do is, within these first 30 seconds, they pay attention to what happens. If that is what they are going to count, then it means they are paying critical attention to what you do within the 30 seconds. So if you skip, then there's this assumption that you don't like the song. Right.
Even after 30 seconds?
Yeah, so the AI moves it
within the first 30.
Okay.
So the catch is always within the first 30.
It's your everything.
Okay.
The first 30 seconds is your everything. So now, when you skip within 30, attention is paid to which song came before
and which
song is coming after.
That's the algorithm working.
Yes. You mentioned earlier, I think Jay mentioned that you played one song and I think 20 recommendations, and they were all on point until the 17th one, which had, yes. So if you had skipped somewhere, it will now start thinking of what next to bring to you so that you don't leave. Because the more time you spend on these platforms, the more money they make. Right. So the recommendation is designed such that it keeps you there. That's why you play one video on YouTube, then it starts following. Right. So if this skipping or the skip through rate, that's what it's called, doesn't favor you, then it becomes a big issue. Then it means the next song or the previous song that played, chances that your song will be recommended when that song plays again is voted down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask, Max, are you on the line with us?
My question was not answered.
Sorry, please go ahead.
No, the question I asked about how jurisdiction comes to play, when I said that I noticed that when I speak to Siri about a particular song, so for instance, I say, Siri, can you play me Shatta Wale this? Siri takes me to, we say, oh, here is Shatta Wale or something close to that from a country I've never heard before. Or I mention the name of a song to Siri. Siri plays me a song with that title, but not from the artist I'm asking of. And I'm asking whether it's a jurisdiction that is limiting or our songs have not crossed beyond. I don't know what
it's
happens.
Tagging. So for each song that you upload, the song goes with metadata. Right. And the metadata is more than just the artist and the title. You can even add phonetics, the written phonetics to the
of the lyrics.
Of the artist's name.
Of the artist's
to
name.
To the phonetics.
Okay.
So that when Siri, you see, Siri is listening to you, but Siri does not understand you. Siri is decoding what has come out of your mouth phonetically.
Right. Hey Siri.
When
here we go again.
Play Shatta Wale on God.
Here we go again.
On God. By Shatta Wale, now playing on Apple Music.
Siri, no. Until shut up.
It went smoothly for you. That's why I'm asking that. Could it have been where I found myself at that time? Does jurisdiction have anything to play with this?
Jay, why don't you try an artist outside Ghana? Maybe you soon do.
It doesn't. You see,
Siri says
for avoidance. For avoidance of complication, right?
Yeah.
It goes onto the World Wide Web, which is one big repository. So when you speak to Hey Siri, Siri is going onto the internet. Siri is not going to American internet or UK internet or Ghana internet. It's going onto the internet, period. Anything you can enter into a Google and get a result, that's where Siri is going. But what I'm saying is that to make your stuff easier to be found and less of this kind of negative feedback of it didn't pick my song exactly or blah, 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 before you upload your song in these DistroKid, 1 RPM and all that, there's literally many pages telling you how to properly
plug your song
with the right metadata. You understand?
Because, Cyril, not to cut you here, there was a video once upon a time on the trends where a Ghanaian on TikTok was asking the Amazon assistant to play any song, any Afrobeat song.
Yeah.
And
I think Stephanie.
Was it? Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All the songs were from.
Yeah, that's
from
because
Nigeria.
the play data shows that in the Afrobeats category, Nigerian songs rank higher than Ghanaian. So the computer would not send you a Ghanaian song if the first Ghanaian song is ranked as the 43rd in a list of 100.
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier about the recommendations. So which songs are being liked by most in that particular genre you're asking for? So, and again, it wants you to stay. It wants you to keep listening. It's not going to bring a song that it's not sure that after you have finished, you are going to play the next one.
Okay,
Listen to the next
so Max, let me ask you this question with regards to the cost of the stream as opposed to the cost of purchasing the music. Okay, I think we've lost him.
I wanted to add, to clarify something for
real quickly.
Ms. G. So in how the consumer even finds the music, right? The technology is also changing. So yesterday I showed Jay something. The Google Assistant now allows you to sing the song, and then it will present you with the song. So you say, "Hey Google," and then say, "What song is this?" And then it will listen, and then you sing whatever nonsense you will sing, and it will find the song that matches.
It was a beautiful. I was amazed. I was amazed.
Yeah, it Shazam's with your voice. So you do it. You just do it. And hey Google, what song is this?
Bawa Saba.
And,
don't you know? Say it's pair of me.
No, this one. You see, that's why I keep telling you that. That's why. That's why
you are ruining my experiment.
That's why. No, we won't try it twice.
No. It was fine.
Let's go on to the next question.
It was fine.
What song is this?
Oh, this is cheating. I need to move on to this.
You tell me what you want.
Wait.
You see, it doesn't even recognize Cyril's
what
voice.
Song is this?
As their song. Have you seen?
Phone don't stop ringing.
Let's make noise.
One of these.
First song on the list. Last made Friday night.
So
you don't even need to know the lyrics, the artist, nothing. And the moment it came on, it's offered me the streaming platforms. And it's given me last minutes, probably, I'm guessing off. But I know that Google will rank the platform by his best performing 3 platforms.
So the first one is what?
Spotify, Apple Music, and Deezer. And if we could confirm from last minute what his top 3 platforms are.
It might just be this.
So even now, the problem you had about Play Me Shatawale, blah, blah, blah.
No,
there's no song titled blah, 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 please. It's on God.
What I'm saying is that
for
I'm
the
adding
sake
to what
of,
you're
let
saying.
me just emphasize, because I see where this is going to go.
Let
me emphasize that what I'm saying is, it actually happened, so it's not like it's just Shatta. A lot of artists.
No,
because he keeps saying that.
I'm not even talking about the Shatta.
It happened with Stonebwoy, and another thing that happened is that when I didn't say specifically what Stonebwoy song I wanted, it took me to songs of Stonebwoy I have never heard before.
That's what I'm saying, that they are moving away now from us having to ask for the artist and label the song that Play Me On God by Shatawale. Instead of giving you that mouthful, you know what On God sounds like. So you hit it and you off and please, it starts playing.
So to add up to that, what these platforms also do when songs are uploaded is to generate an acoustic fingerprint of that. That is what will make it possible for what just happened
the AI to track it.
Yes, it also pays attention to what people are also looking for in a particular jurisdiction, like
Miss G
mentioned. So all of these come together to enable it, the experience, give you the experience you just got.
Let's talk about costing real quickly. Now I was asking about the pricing. I realize that sometimes when you're uploading your music on these platforms, you choose how much you want it to cost. Unless I'm wrong, I've seen it happen.
If the standardized fees, but if you think it's a premium product,
if you add on,
but that outprices you in the market because they suggest the whole $9.99 because on the value chain of how much advertising, promo, distribution, everything is going to happen. That is a fair cost for everybody. But if you want to make your album $29.99, then that means they're going to have less resources to help push organically for that.
What I want to ask is, in accordance to cost, right?
Okay, all right.
Once upon a time, we were to buy albums from iTunes. There was like a figure, right? And now we are subscribing to the streaming platforms. What's the difference between the two? Because if it were to be on iTunes and I'm paying maybe $9, Does the $9 come to me as an artist when the consumer pays for it, or iTunes will take its percentage and then give me?
What, the streaming or the...
So I'm talking about two different things.
Yeah.
iTunes Store, which was what was invoked then, right? So you pay for the song. So if the song is maybe $2.99, you know you are paying for it with your card, right? And now we have that still there, and we have the streaming platforms where you pay maybe a $4.99 per month to have access to all the music. The question I'm trying to ask is, since the artists do not make that much money on streams, before on iTunes Store, were they making the same, like, were they making money?
The audience changed. Two things changed. The audience and how the music was consumed. Now, anybody who is creating hardware will tell you that they need to maximize space for components. And one of the biggest components, space-wise, is storage space. That's why they moved away from cylindrical drives to solid-state drives in almost every device we are using now. So if you are trying to get music hardcore, I've downloaded Olele's album. If I download everything from Olele's catalog, maybe that's like 3 gig. If I like 10 artists, that's 30 gigs of music that I'm probably going to listen to.
I'm talking about the cost. Like,
yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. So that audience that used to love owning Olele's project, that buy the album, that audience also shifted.
But was the artist making money?
Yes, the artists then were making money.
So now the artists are not making money now?
They are making money now, but the thing now is that as opposed to maybe you'd have to buy an Olele album today, I can choose to just stream the same Olele song over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and
so between that era and now, are they
All
making
right,
less money
guys,
or more
I
money?
have to, let me get, we have a guest who's been on the line for a while. We have John Hill, who's music executive for Island Records, who joins us via Zoom this morning as well. Good morning, John, if you are there, and can we hear you? Namesake, actually.
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning. Sorry I came in late.
Nah, that's fine.
I was just literally hopped up a label meeting, so it was like chaotic here.
I can imagine your day. Well, okay, so we have just a few minutes left, but let me pick your thoughts on which one is probably paying the artists better, purchasing of the music or streaming of the music?
I think it depends on the volume, right? Definitely purchasing because you're actually giving out money for the music. But then these days, consumption has changed. So then most people go to stream the music rather than just purchase the music. So if there's a bulk of streams, then you'll be getting more money through streams. Like there are artists that get their revenue mainly from streaming, and there are artists that do more of a physical run, if that makes sense. So it depends on the consumption of the fans of the artist. Like, for example, let's say like a Burna Boy puts out his album, right? Burna Boy is going to get most of his revenue from streaming. But someone like Taylor Swift, because she has fans that actually go out to buy physical copies and buy vinyls and buy like CDs, she's going to get her money from the physical side of things. So it depends on the consumption behavior of the artist, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Which one, with regards to Island, which one would be your biggest revenue earner, street or model? Earning or streaming or purchase of the music.
So Island Record manages like big catalogs, like we manage Drake's catalog, Bob Marley, RD, like the biggest artists in the world. So our market is mostly based on, depending on the talent, like someone like RD, right? He appeals to the younger demographic. So then we get our money from streaming. But someone like Bob Marley will get his money from physical copies. So it depends on the demographic, like I said, of the artist. And we have major labels, so like we get money from both sides, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Anyone wants to shoot something to John?
I'm just curious to know what percentage of the money goes to the artist and what percentage stays with you.
To be fair, that goes into like a deeper conversation of what deal did the artist sign with the label. So basically, usually when there's just a distribution deal, just because we are only distributing the music, we are not investing in marketing, we are not investing in promo, we are literally just distributing your music, then the artist is going to earn more. But then when we have to invest in marketing, shoot your videos, put you on a promo run and all of that, obviously we need to make the money back somehow.
True.
So yeah.
But which one is viable?
Yeah, so
which one would you advise that an artist opts for? Can I decide to shoot my video even if it's of no standard, and still, because you know that that money is definitely coming to me. I'm going to make a bigger chunk of the percentage. Which one works? Or you have standards that will limit me from getting my content even through?
I don't know. For me personally, I feel like as an artist, you need to know where you are, you know, in like this your career stage or whatever. Like if you're starting off, it does not make sense to just hop right into like a label and then have them take all of your masters, because they will, because they're literally building you from scratch, right? But then if you have artists that's built of your audience over time, someone like maybe like a Sarkodie or Kwesi Arthur, then it makes sense to like sign with a label, because then it's almost like you've built leverage, so that you know how to negotiate your deals such that you earn from, you know, you earn the bigger share, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like it depends on the artist and the level that you are as an artist.
All right, John.
And then again, to add to the conversation, to add to the conversation of which one sells or which one should you go for, either revenue from album sales, physical copies, or streaming. Trust me, in Ghana, I'd say right now, nobody goes to the shop to go and buy cassettes or CDs or, you know, vinyls from Despite again. Right? Despite was our distributor. Despite was our empire back then, right?
Yes.
Who was distributing the music.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to know where you are. You have to know the kind of audience you have, because some artists will release merch and make a lot of money from just merch sales. Some artists wouldn't make same. So you have to know who you are, what type of artist you are, what your fans want. Do your fans want vinyls? How many copies did they buy? Let's say your last release. If they bought 100,000 units of vinyls, then it means you have an audience for that, and you can create a vinyl with your people and then sell them. If they bought CDs, boom, you make them. If they buy merch, you make merch. If they buy anything that you sell, or you do a concert, standalone concert, and they come, that's also a source of revenue. So you have to look at the culture around you. That's one. Is the culture around you supporting this kind of things that are currently happening in Europe, where some artists haven't even stayed home for more than 1 month. They are always on the road. Does your culture allow that? Do you have the audience for that? Right. So you have to actually scheme and know who you are first to decide on what revenue best suits your artistry.
So, Max, I mean, in mentioning this, let me throw this to you and John. Just like how I'd walk into a corner store and I see maybe three apples for $2.99. With regards to music and these platforms, which one possibly generates more revenue for artists? Business wise. Albums, EPs, singles, which one would be a better area, for a record label to look at in positioning as artists, or possibly, look at throwing in albums, like I mentioned, albums or EPs or singles?
For me, I'd say at the end of the day, the labels have data, right? The data would show how many users are on different platforms, right? And we all know that in Africa right now it's Boomplay and then Audiomack,
straight,
who have the mass numbers, right? So even though they will generate lesser revenue for me, I'd push it some more. Do you get it? Just to get me the numbers and get me whatever from there, because regardless of what I do, the users wouldn't go and pay for Apple Music. And even Audiomack has a premium. How many people use the Audiomack premium? So if I'm a label, a lot of labels don't concentrate on Apple Music and then Boomplay. Fine. A lot of them concentrate on Apple Music and the rest, because that's where the money is coming from. That's where the numbers are deemed as prestigious, right? And then showboating. But then where the money comes from actually is from the Deezers and the rest. But then they don't have a lot of users like that. Do you get it? So it's actually based on what on the label's strength, or not.
Sorry, what about you, John?
Add that, with what Maxwell is saying. Yeah, I just want to add that, with what Maxwell is saying. So, basically with streams, right? We have the ad-funded streams and we have the premium streams. Premium streams are worth more than ad-funded streams. So premium streams are like maybe like you actually sign up for Spotify and pay for it, and then you stream the music and we get money from that. Ad-funded streams is when you're using like free services like so like Boomplay have like a free tier. Spotify also has a free tier. But like so the premium streams are worth more, like we earn more money than ad-funded streams. So ideally we would want to go to like a Spotify because there's a working structure. We earn more money than the premium streams and all of that, rather than invest in ad-funded streams that is like tossing money into marketing that we're not really going to get much from, if that makes sense.
So I want to ask, right? So then it comes back to the conversation of the charts. This song is charting Apple Music #1, number this, number that. What I want to find out is what kind of data contributes to these things? Is it the free ones or the premium ones? And even with the Billboard charts and stuff like that, do they aggregate all these streams? Because you are talking about ad-funded streams, talking about paid streams. And should we, as consumers, be excited when we see that, oh, this song is doing #1 and maybe Apple Music Nigeria? Because clearly, there's some part of the population that's not part of the aggregation, So how do we understand some of these things we see, and what should we be excited about when we see some of these news?
Someone asked me this question previously, and I was like, for me personally, you have to understand that, like, so the way they calculate like the Billboard chart and all of that, they go from Spotify, Apple Music. These are all of the DSPs. They go to YouTube. They go to like physical sales. Put all of that together, and that's when we have like the Billboard charts, right?
Right.
And then in each region, like each DSP has a certain amount of people that they get from the region. So, for example, in the UK, Spotify has like 70% of streaming consumption that comes in. Apple Music has about 20%. Amazon Music has about 10%, and so on and so forth, right? So if you are charting on Spotify in the UK, obviously Spotify has 70%, so it's not a true reflection of total consumption, but then it gives you an idea of, okay, maybe there's actual consumption here because that's 70% of the market. Right, in Africa, right, how many people actually use Apple Music and Spotify? Most people go on the free tier for Boomplay and Audiomack instead. Boomplay and Audiomack are the biggest DSPs in Africa. So if you're charting, so like, to give you context, so let's say Apple Music gives you about, maybe at the very most 30% of like the total consumption in the region. So then if you tell me that you're charting on Apple Music, I'm like, that's only 30% of the total thing. So are you really, is that a true reflection of actual consumption? Does that make sense? Is that a true reflection of people actually taking in your music? In my opinion, no.
So John, not to take the wind out of your sail, right? So as an artist, you should rather be excited to present statistics from Boomplay or Audiomack, which has a larger representation of the consumer behavior towards your music, rather than looking at Apple Music, where in your context, say 20 or 30% of the population in terms of usage.
That goes into a thing of context, right? Okay. So obviously there are the bigger DSPs there,
right?
And it makes sense. But then when you come to the Western world, they have no idea who Boomplay or Audiomack is. So then if you're trying to pitch for like, oh, I did #1 on Boomplay or Audiomack, you guys should sign me because I have this data, I have that. They'll look at you like, I don't really know though, because I don't know those DSPs, right? So for me, it's always about getting a wider view. Try to make sure that, yes, you are chatting on Apple Music, but also try to make sure that you have consumption on Spotify, you have consumption on this. So then it's like a general thing that you can pitch them, like, oh, you're doing this here, you're doing this here, you're doing that here. But focusing on one DSP is not like, it doesn't work in my opinion anyways.
Okay. Our time is fast spent, but please let me just let you in on this one, Max. With regards to these DSPs, I know some of them make advance payments to certain artists even before they these songs are produced or released. Would you want to even tell us a bit more about this?
Those are bigger conversations that are like at very top tier. Sony, Warner, Universal kind of like conversations, and those monies actually go into like advertising. They go into advertising the particular project. So you can see that, they said YouTube supports a Billboard app for Black Sherif, Spotify is doing the same. Those are like budgets, internal budgets allocated for this kind of like amplification for the projects. So it's not like, you know, it's a cash down conversation, but I mean, it's the labels that give like upfront money for creating the project, and then the welfare of the artist and how the artist team see fit to spend the money. But mostly for the money given by the DSPs, it's more like they use the money for amplification of whatever projects you are putting out on their platform.
Okay.
Oh, to add to that, like, so basically I work within the streaming team at Island Records, right? And what we do is that, like, whenever there's a big release, we go to Spotify and go like, right, we have Black Sherif dropping an album, would like to collaborate with you guys to do something. And then Spotify or Apple Music will go like, okay, cool, we'll throw a release party, we'll put him on our billboard here, So that's like stuff that is done in conjunction with the DSPs. And this is a major label. So Island Records is part of Universal Music Group. So it's like Mark said, it's like a major label sort of conversation.
Yeah, conversation.
Okay. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Our time is fast spent on there. We've been talking to John Hill and also to Maxwell Javon, who have been guests this morning on the show. And in-house here, we also have Apia Sign as well, giving us insights into this great conversation. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We hope to have you another time on such a insighttil conversation.
Ask you to do that thing again.
Yeah, we'll be testing you, right? So I can let them off now. but it's just in wrapping up, you know, it's just interesting to hear that, you know, Boomplay, Audiomack, taking the what you call it, the African or the Ghanaian conversation, Apple and Koa, you know, on a much wider, and artists will present.
Do you know the funny
my
thing?
Stats on
The funny thing about Ghanaian artists is they don't really respect quote unquote Boomplay and Audiomack stats. If it's not,
it's because of the global appeal, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see, you need to start from somewhere.
Right.
You know, Boomplay is giving you a true reflection, or Audiomack is
of your audience.
Can you really screenshot that true reflection and put everywhere?
But you see, that's the thing, though.
Look,
it's the
mentality. Every time somebody drops something, they quickly Apple this, Apple that.
But now we are getting to understand that it's not even your true reflection.
50,000 people.
Because that is how, you see, and I stand to be corrected, that is how they end up in countries thinking that they can go and do a show there, and they go there and then it's a no-show. They have to cancel the show. But Boomplay is telling you in Africa, you have numbers in Gabon, you have numbers in Cote d'Ivoire, you have numbers in this. You go there, you activate those markets, and that's where they'll even come back together.
And even those numbers will propel the international
appeal.
Or the other countries that you want to go to, because social media is driving everything, you know.
Wake up.
Apia Sign, I'm sure you want to say something before.
Yeah, so it's about the purchase and the stream thing, right? The comparison. I feel stream goes over time. Purchase is a one-time action. If you buy, that's it.
Yeah.
So if you compare over time, it means if I buy an album at, let's say, 1 CD, and I'm streaming, I'm subscribed to a platform, I'm paying maybe 10 CDs every month for a year.
Yeah.
How much would that artist would have made from me as compared to if I bought that artist? Yes. So sometimes
a question I didn't ask, and just wrap it up with that is: does the consumer? Is there any platform that pays the consumer
for listening to me?
For listening to their song? Because I'm just finding out. Because no, there's a platform. Our time is up though, but there's a platform that has been released in Ghana here by some engineers, some software developers that actually pay the listener.
Consumer.
Yes, I'll tell you about that tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Okay,
Yes, interesting. Yes, our time is up. Thank you very much. We'll be back here same time tomorrow for another insightful conversation right here on Culture Daily. And bye. But hey, before that, real quickly, also coming up next is Hot's GH. Up next on 3 Music as well is, of course, releasing the hottest and the newest releases from Ghana or Ghanaian artists. And also Irene Sewa, Kwafo